uwager.lv, sportsbook, and casino. Sign up today at uwager.lv, the premier online sportsbook, taking wagers since 1998. The most player-friendly lines, weekly juice specials, and a true dime line in MLB. Unique casino platforms with thousands of games. Play poker, high stakes, low stakes, or tournament play. uwager.lv, what we offer. Free same-day payouts. Customer service and wagering support, 24/7, year-round. Free monthly rebates on your action and daily casino rebates. Contests, free bets, best bonuses, and giveaways. Generous referral program. Get an 80% free play bonus on your first deposit, up to $1,000. Sign up today, and use promo code SPORTSWEB. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com. We are definitely going to be here. Let me go ahead and get the announcement up. Is the third annual pre-Labor Day car show by Twisted Outlaws on September 3rd at the Stockyard, by the Stockyard there in Holiday, Florida. The Sports Web will definitely be out there. You'll have raffles, vendors, cash prizes, show cars, car audio, and of course the evolution of sports talk television. Get out there. The address is 1916 U.S. Highway 19 in Holiday, Florida. Here we go.
The third annual pre-Labor Day car show is speeding your way September 3rd, only at the Stockyard in Holiday, Florida, with cash prizes, raffles, and vendors from all over Pasco County. Don't miss out on this used car show competition, where we are handing out trophies for Best of Show, Best Audio Setup, Best Paint Job, Best Original Design, and many, many more. Call today for more information.
I love that. Here's where I will be on September 3rd. on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here on a happy
day
edition of the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show as we always do here on a Monday, Wednesday night, and of course, post-game, pre-game editions for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. My co-host in the building, Mr. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports. And then about 10:20, we will have Turnbuckle Talk, professional wrestling, WWE, AEW, with, of course, Mancini himself, Mr. Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer of Mancini Media, and the bodyguard of the Berg, newest Pittsburgh radio personality, Ralph Williams. And as always, we'll take your phone calls as we always do here on a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever I decide to go live. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, and you should be able to get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, once again, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about on a day where, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, you have to be somewhat disappointed. As the Bucs are in New York, having a joint practice with the New York Football Jets just to end the football season, but lots of hype with that team, Aaron Rodgers, and they have an unfortunate injury with Russell Gage, as according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, he suffered a non-contact knee injury during the joint practice with the Jets, and the belief heading into the exams is that the severe injury will end his season. So now it's time for who to step up. Is it going to be Devin Tompkins, who we've heard in training camp has been very impressive? Everything he touches, he catches. Or is it Trey Palmer, who has also been impressive, caught a touchdown the other night versus the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, both of those players could be in the driving seat. Do the Bucs go out there and pick somebody up? There are some receivers out there, Kenny Galladay, Julio Jones, please, not Julio Jones all over again. I think they go with the young options. But we'll definitely talk with you about it. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Let's hold off on the phone calls. I know that I asked for some phone calls, but let's hold off. One more thing here. The Rays win today 6-1 over the San Francisco Giants. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Good thing there. Luke Raley with an inside the park home run. Brandon Lau with a home run, his 100th of his career. So they're going to play the Angels coming up this weekend. I think it starts on Friday. So we'll see how that works out. The latest on Wander Franco, which I know is a highly controversial subject on this show by all the posts on Facebook. The latest is there's not really a lot here, but they are still investigating. According to ESPN, Angel Dario Tejada Fable, a prosecutor in Bavaria, told the Associated Press on Wednesday that the investigation into Franco is open under the National Agency for Boys, Girls, Adolescents, and Family and Gender Violence Unit. He said the probe is in its early stages and will be chaired by Chief Prosecutor Olga Dina Laverias, a specialist in child abuse cases. He also says this is a very delicate topic because there is a minor involved. We are working together with Laverias. So there you go. And of course, Franco is on the restricted list. He's not playing on this road trip, and no telling when he's going to be back. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead We're going to get on our guest in a little bit here. Leo, stand by. Let me go out to the Marine here. Ron, what's going on? Welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind tonight?
Mr. Peter Blake.
Yes, sir.
Sports Web.
Yes, sir.
The nation. Hello, Webheads.
What's
Well, Pete, unfortunately, the worst part of the game has reared its ugly head already.
and what's that? Injuries?
Well, it's just too bad, to hear that, a solid receiver like Russell Gage already out for the season. It's the most unfortunate part of the game is injuries, but it just sucks, I guess, and obviously timing that it happened so premature
Right.
before the preseason's even up.
Correct. That's the number one priority. We always talk about it, Marine. We talk about, staying healthy. That's your number one priority. I get it. You want to get reps in, but when you lose a Russell Gage, who, last couple years, he hasn't necessarily had the best injury luck. He had injuries last year, lingering leg issues, and now it's a knee. So one of these guys has to step up, or Jason Light will go out there and get a veteran. In fact, let me pose the question out there to you webheads out there. What would you like Jason Light to do? Go with Trey Palmer, go with Devin Tompkins, or go out there and get a veteran like a Kenny Galladay, a Julio Jones, or somebody like that?
Yeah, Pete. I think we have enough depth, and I think as unfortunate as it is, you kind of got to find a way because it's just a game.
Right.
You never know. It just really stinks that it had to be an injury that would cost him. It's so, it's just so
it's demoralizing. I get it. I get it. I
understood.
understand it. I get it.
But I think, it's not the end all. You can't just replace, Russell Gage. The experience he has, the hands. But here's what it is, man. We got to move on. Everybody, I think, is still going to be excited for the season. It's really a tough one to swallow. But
let me ask you this, Marine. I got to get you out of here because we got to get out to Leo Haggerty. I don't want to make him wait. So you can definitely catch that conversation and use your second call if you want to. What are you looking forward to on Saturday night versus the New York Football Jets?
Okay, well, I'll tell you, Pete.
Yep.
I want to see the defense get after it. Okay, so there was reports. I think
Yep.
it was Rick Stroud that was saying the defensive line is really getting after it and sacking Rodgers. So let's see this defense get nasty and bring it to the game.
Love it.
You know what I mean?
Love it. Absolutely. And that was the big time story today. It was big time story today with that defensive line dominating that Jets offensive line. All right, Ron, I got to run here. Thanks a lot for the call. Let me give you the Macho Man. Appreciate you really quick. Yep, David, stand by here. We're going to get our guest on. Leo, stand by. So here we go. Let me go ahead and get his intro on. The legend himself, Leo Haggerty. Here we go. I'm a Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Leo Haggerty, welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. It's coming off fast and furious. They want to talk Bucs. Let's go out to the phone lines here. David, you're on with yours truly along with the legend Leo Haggerty. What's on your mind tonight, my friend? David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. What's going on?
Not much. I know you always talk about the Bucs and everything.
Yes.
I think the Rays are finally getting out of their slump. I think.
Well, it's good to see. Now I'll talk with Leo about this. It's good to see him take 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Little old meatloaf there. Google it, kids, if you don't know what that's all about. But that's exactly what you have to do, legend. You have to take 2 out of 3, right?
Always win series. That's what you want to do in September and October. Win series. So you won 2 out of 3. Now you go to the Angels. Try to win that series because the worst you're going to do is end up adding games in the W. That's the important thing.
There you go. All right, David, what else?
Well, what the heck is going on with Wonder Franklin here? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that there could be a while. I don't know. And I don't want to speculate, and I don't want to put this out there to the fans. I want this kid to play for the Tampa Bay Rays, but if he did something wrong, Major League Baseball is going to investigate it. They're going to investigate every situation, and if he did something wrong, he's going to be suspended, and more than likely he'll be out of a Rays uniform, and more than likely he'll also be out of Major League Baseball if some of these things are true. If they are true, because stuff can be fabricated. That's why they're investigating it at the end of the day. Right, Leo?
Yeah, and you know what, Peter? You just hope his next uniform color isn't orange.
Right.
Because that's what they're looking at right now. And you know what? I give credit to the Tampa Bay Rays. Anybody in this organization, and I'm going to put that up on my Leo's Daily Memo after we're done tonight. No comment. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sit tight. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything until you get all the facts and Major League Baseball puts it in front of you. Now, hopefully, and this is probably the only hope Wander Franco has, is that the girl's family misinterpreted and misrepresented her as an 18-year-old.
Right.
That's its only saving grace, if the allegations are true. And people have said, you know, in the culture he comes from, 14, that's acceptable. You know what, guys? When in Rome, you got to do as the Romans. And in Rome, you can't do that. And ask Brittany Griner. Take some cannabis to Moscow. See what happens there. You know, you got to play by the rules where you're at. And I'm just wondering if this is true. Maybe that led to the blow up back earlier when maybe some of his teammates said, hey, look, you're playing with fire here, big boy. You need to stop.
Well, look, you've been a scout before, and there's no denying here, Dave and Leo, that he's got all kinds of talent at the end of the day. But also, he's had lots of trouble off the field, and I get it. He's absolutely talented. That's the reason why the Rays pay him all that money, over $180 million, right? He could be one of the top young shortstops in baseball. But he's also been a headache. And I guess my question to you, Leo, and my question to you, Dave, is when is enough enough? Is this it after this? Because if he has another situation, whether he's innocent or guilty or not, I'm not sure if the Rays are going to try to put up with it. And if he is found guilty of this, I think the Rays would try to get out of this contract, because they would go out there and say this is a moral thing, and they can get out of it. They had no idea what he was involved in. Dave, what do you say?
I honestly hope it is just an accident. Maybe he did indulge and he didn't know. He thought she was overage. I don't know. If I was a player, especially as young as him, and with a big contract, I would definitely be checking a little bit harder.
Thank you. Don't put yourself in that situation. I get it. You're 22 years old, but don't put yourself in that situation. I continue to say it. I feel like I should be a counselor for athletes out there. Dave, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you. Use that second call, man. Welcome back to the Evolution, all right?
Thank you.
All right, good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. I see a Greek. Let me go ahead and get the Greek on really quick. Here's his intro. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How you doing tonight?
What's up, brother?
Well, that's a great shot there, buddy. Go ahead and grace us with your presence there. That's great. There we go. How you doing, Greek?
The seas are opening. It shall be a great football season for everybody that's out there. We're going to come up with some of the best picks, but don't forget, let's not talk about Wander Franco, because you know what? We're hunting wabbits. We shouldn't make comments about either one of the two minors. Not just one, both.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Hi, Leo.
Where do you go?
Don't mind me. I'm just the dinosaur sitting in the back of the room.
Hi, Leo.
The lines are open. The phone lines are open. If you want to talk about the Franco situation, I would prefer to talk about the Rays. Let's talk about the Rays a little bit, and then we'll move to the Bucs, because
Peter, you froze up. Do me a favor. You froze up. Go ahead and pull yourself out just for a second. You froze up, buddy. You know what? All the Greek guys out there, we don't need Peter out here right now. I'm glad he froze up, because we get to talk about something that's super important. Leo and I do. Absolutely nothing. That's what's super important. How about that, Leo?
You know what, Harry? Everybody's missing the big picture with the Rays. McClanahan having to get Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, it's
That's the
horrible.
big one. That is huge.
You know, Leo, and I'm not trying to be I wish I was wrong. You remember when this team started out and they got their first 30 wins? It's the best thing since sliced bread, and you even tried it too. We're like, hey guys, pump your brakes, man. This is a long season. It's a marathon, guys. And this team is in jeopardy of even making the playoffs.
was
I mean,
really
I still think they're going to make the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, Leo, this is it's pretty scary for what's happening. That whole division's playing some super, super fantastic baseball. Even the the Yankees, who really are theoretically out of it, what happens if they get healthy again? I mean, it doesn't look like they're going to. But the biggest question is this, Leo: who's catching Baltimore?
Well,
Hang on. And
you
you
know
and
what?
I talked about it in the beginning part of the season. I said, nobody, remember, Peter? How
Mm-hmm.
come nobody's talking about this Baltimore team? I mean,
Right.
they're pretty damn good. What do
Right.
you
Well,
think,
you
Leo?
know what, guys? And I think that a lot of teams in the American League, definitely in the AL East, are sitting there waiting for Baltimore to figure out they're the Orioles. Well, the problem is maybe they're that good.
No, they
And
are good, Leo.
and if they're that good, no one notices the
Peter, got
key
something?
to
Yep. Hold that thought there, Leo. Let's go out to Roger Shu, the tribal.
Acknowledge me.
Welcome to the Sports Web. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire, and of course, the legend himself, Leo Haggerty. What's on your mind?
Good evening, gentlemen. Great show so far.
Thank
Just
you.
a quick question for the Greek. When is
Hey,
coming back on?
what'd you say, buddy?
When is the over-under coming back on?
That's a great question. The over-under is going to be debuting the very first week of the NFL season live right here on the Sports Web.
Hey, I got Wednesday for the day it's going to come on. You want the over or the under?
I want the under.
Okay.
All right, good stuff. What else,
Good.
Roger?
That was it, man. Just wanted to know when the over-under is coming back.
All right, man.
I look forward to
Appreciate
making
you.
some money.
The over-under is going to be debuting on the Sports Web for the very first time. It's going to be the over-under on the Sports Web. It is going to be happening this year for Week 1 in the National Football League. We are going to try to do it, as Leo said, on a Wednesday so we can get the Thursday night games. But if that doesn't happen, it doesn't really coincide because the Sports Web's really primarily Sundays for a pre- and post-game show, Mondays for the game reaction, and Wednesday it's to talk with Bandit, the beautiful Bandit.
That's it.
But
That's
we
it.
may try to alter it up a little bit. Might try to run a split show. We might be able to run 2 shows on a Wednesday, but the over/under has to come back. It's either going to be on a Wednesday or it's going to be a Friday evening, maybe even a Saturday. Because I'll tell you why. It needs to be later in the week.
And Harry,
That's when all the lines move.
Yeah, explain why that is. You want to wait as long as possible.
Yep.
To find out what's going on.
Correct. And Leo's bringing up a good point here because sometimes the lines are so ridiculous, okay, that you can't possibly bet the way you want to. You have to wait later in the week for the line to come down or to even get more points. So let's just say the over-under comes back on a Saturday. But I see something that's super important for people to go ahead and be able to make their wagers because the line is ridiculous and you're getting all these points. And at the end of the week, it's not going to be plus 10. It might only be plus 6. Well, at that plus 10, you might see Peter come on and say, hey, or you might get, something with Leo Haggerty. Just keep checking the pages. I don't have one. I'm not going to have a website. But you know what? Through the Sports Web, or Leo Haggerty, I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, you will get the best picks of the week in the early part of the week if you need to make an early wager. But generally,
you know what, Harry,
we wait to the end of the week.
I'm going to throw this out at you. I think the most interesting spread in college football is going to be Week 1, Colorado and TCU. I want to see how the wise guys treat that one.
Well, they're going to treat, and
you got
what?
Sanders that's making his debut as the coach. A lot of expectations there, but remember, this team only had one win last year. So
I'll tell you this right now, okay?
Yeah.
When the week starts out, it'll be TCU is going to be a very large favorite, but by the end of the week, it's going to be a lot closer than what you think. And one of those games, if I'm correct, you bet TCU later on in the week, so you're not laying as many points.
All right,
Absolutely.
let's save that. Let's go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers joint practices today with the Jets. Unfortunately, they lose Russell Gage to an injury for the whole year. I mean, your thoughts, the impact of this, Leo, and then we'll go out to you, Harry.
You know what, Peter? I'm going to put the silver lining on that.
Yum.
The silver lining is the guy hurt isn't Evans or Godwin.
That's
You
true.
know, let's be honest. They lost their number 3 wideout.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 wideouts are a lot easier to replace than number 1s and number 2s. So, yeah, Russell Gage, it's a shame that that's happened, but I would rather have to deal with that if I'm Todd Bowles, if I'm, Canales, the offense coordinator, than to deal with trying to figure out how to run plays without Michael Evans or Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I told you about it today, Harry. Sent you the information. It was disappointing. The young man signed from the Atlanta Falcons, free agency deal, and has not been able to really make an impact. Lingering leg issues last year. Now you have a knee injury. Your thoughts?
Still status quo. Okay, he wasn't an impact last year. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. It's going to be the next man up. I think one of the younger wide receivers are going to have a chance. And you know what? He wasn't going to be that much of an impact this year anyway. Okay, let's just be real. Okay, the biggest impact on this team is we need to be talking about, is Jensen going to be ready at any point in this season?
Yeah.
I mean, is this like spinning the record the same direction as it was last year? I mean, it was about this time when we learned that not only 1, but 2 offensive linemen weren't going to be ready to start the season. That's kind of deja vu. You can't afford to have that. You can afford to have a wide receiver go down. You can afford to have a D lineman go down, but not an offensive lineman, especially in a new offense, Peter.
I mean, Leo, you hear from Todd Bowles, and he's basically says in so many words, he hasn't trained all training camp. We're not expecting him to be a part of the team. I mean, I just don't know what to think at this point. You think that Ryan Jensen finally is going to be healthy, and it looks like he's not. I mean, how much of a loss is that offensive line with them having the problems they had on Friday night versus the Steelers on that right side?
You know what, Peter? Now you're starting to play, mix and match again. And the problem is you move Tristan Wirfs to the left side.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a new left tackle. You got a new right tackle. Your center is still trying to figure out who's going to play there. And the person who plays center may be one of the starting guards. So now you got another. Peter, this is a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
When you're talking about offensive line. Peter, the one thing I learned from Carmen Perone way back in the early 1980s, he was the chief scout for the New Orleans Saints.
Right.
He said, you deal from the ball out. You better have a good offensive line. You better have a good defensive line, and you move from the ball.
Be a little bit more descriptive on what you're saying by that, because you know what? That is a really good analogy. I have not heard that in a long time. And you know what, Leo, you'd be really surprised how many people don't really know what that analogy means.
Let me put it into layman's terms, okay? When you're talking about moving from the ball out, you're looking at offensive line. They're the closest to the ball. You're looking at defensive line. They're the closest to the ball. Then you're looking at quarterback. Then you're looking at linebackers. You're looking at the players that are the closest to the football. That's the ones you want to take care of. And you know what? Harry and I have sat there and we screamed from the minaret all season that if this team doesn't run the football, it's a 4 or 5 win team. It's got to run the ball.
Well, I tell you right now, I definitely think it changes the win total, right, Greek? I mean, you were praising this team, saying possibly 10 to 13 wins.
If they run the football, this team, they will have success. They have to run. They are built solid at running the football. Last week, you didn't see it too much, Peter. Yeah, okay, give me a break. You seen a couple of plays get stuffed because they won 1, 2, 3 out, 1, 2, 3 out. I don't care if it happens 4 times a game.
I'm telling you, I do care because it's on that right side.
Stop it. It's going to get better. It was 1 week.
It better because those are both of your starters.
Look at him. He looks like Mike Singletary. Calm down.
I'm just saying, Luke Gedeke is
calm down. He's going to be fine.
My point is that Luke Gedeke, if he's your starter and he's playing like that versus not TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Who is Nick Herbig?
Give
Right,
me
he's
a
a second
break.
stringer.
Pete, it's week 1 in practice. I mean, this is like practice. I mean, you don't want to know what more important to all you Chicago fans out there in baseball that are Cub fans. You're losing 3-0. Suck it.
All right.
The White Sox are beating you 3-0.
This guy sucks.
All right, let's go out to the comments.
I just had to throw that out there.
No, first, Bears own the NFC North Bay. Roger,
That's right.
Everyone hit the like button. Appreciate you, Roger, as always.
Yeah.
The shadow is in. Thanks a lot, Jeremiah. Appreciate you. The shadow. Zach here. Let's go. Peter, you're a beauty bud. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Zach says, Harry, I'm counting on you to make me some big money this football season. Your response to Mr. Zach Mitchell.
You know what? I appreciate the love, guys. I really do. And I appreciate all the love that I'm getting on my DMs, even through Twitter. You know, it's really overwhelming. I'm glad you guys had a lot of success last year. We haven't gone to a pay for a pick. I don't have any plans on doing it anytime soon. But you know what? We're just going to continue to. We're just going to keep continuing to keep rolling that ball forward. And I'll tell you what. There are a couple of week 1 games that I like, which is very unusual. I usually don't start to get very opinionated until after week 4, which I will let Leo explain why.
All right. And Leo, why is that? We'll get back to the comments here in a moment. Why is that?
Because with the lack of hitting at practice, it takes 4 weeks for a defense to get back into NFL hitting shape.
Preach on, Leo.
You're going to see so many missed tackles in the month of September. You're going to think you're looking for Pocahontas coming out of the woodwork because nobody's seeing what's going on. And again, I got to go back to the NFL. These games, and I can't call them preseason, they're exhibition games. You know
That's
why?
what they are.
Harry, you hit the nail on the head. It's glorified practice. That's all it is. The fact that they are charging full price for these games, what the NFL needs to do to try and save face is the gate receipts should go to charity because this is not good football. I had to turn the game off the other night. Guys, I couldn't watch it. It was brutal. And Peter, you said that Palmer caught, one of the touchdowns. He caught the only touchdown. That was it.
Not the only touchdown from Baker Mayfield.
Who cares?
What you do
exactly.
Run the football, Pete. Stop. I know. Hey, Mike. We're gonna start. Your new nickname is Mike. We're gonna call you 50. All right. That's what we're gonna call him. I mean, Leo, can you agree with that?
You know why
we're gonna call him
Mike?
number 50.
You know why we're gonna call him Mike? Because his eyes are getting big and he likes that kind of party.
That's right.
That's right. I like that kind of party.
Absolutely. All right, we're on with the Greek here. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports, the legend himself, Leo Haggerty. I'm your host, Peter Blake, on the Sports Web. Open phone lines if you want to get in on this conversation, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, and you should be able to, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. Let's go out.
Hurry up and call in. Don't be a schmecklehead. Seriously, stop being a schmecklehead. Call in.
Peter, get me on camera. Palmer here is what Zach is saying. He was impressive today. He was impressive on Friday night. I get it. It was the first preseason game. Caught the only touchdown. I don't know what was more impressive, gentlemen.
He's going to be on the practice squad the start of the season.
He's not, and I'll bet you wings on it that he most.
Here we go again.
Here comes the party man right there.
Look
at the eyes. What?
Most likely, he's going to either be the third wide receiver on this team or the fourth. He is so impressive, and because of the Russell Gage injury, he'll have that opportunity.
He's replacing Godwin.
Well, really quick, he's not going to replace Godwin. It's going to be Evans and Godwin, and then Palmer's going to have the opportunity at number 3 there, ass. Now, the former Nebraska standout.
Can you believe that, Leo?
Palmer.
I think we kick him off right now, and you and I just take over for the rest of the segment. I say off with his head.
Listen, Sauce Gardner, 60 yards. He beat Sauce Gardner today in practice. That would be Palmer. First and foremost, how does Palmer from Nebraska last until the 6th round with the speed? He had 3 catches for over 70 yards, but the big takeaway from him, The reason why he dropped is because he can't catch the ball consistently. How does a player like Palmer last until the 6th round, Leo Haggerty?
Hey, coming out of Nebraska, they didn't throw the ball. So again, they may give him, 4 targets, maybe less. Say he catches 2 and drops 1. That's not a good average. Now, if they threw it to him 8 times and he caught 7 of them, now it looks a little better. But
Right.
Nebraska, they don't throw the football out there in corn country.
Which is
sure.
even
No, they
more
don't.
impressive, Harry.
And how did Darnell Mooney go that late? Okay, but he's not even close to being in Darnell Mooney's even in the same conversation. But I do have 2 words for you, sir. You ready?
Yeah.
Pre-season.
Okay, that's fair.
No,
You
no,
can
no. I have one word for you. I have one word for you.
What's that?
Exhibition.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Can't even
Exhibition.
call it preseason.
Well, right now he's going to get the opportunity. He's been one of the most.
What was that, Bandit? Come here.
Okay, he's going to get. No, I'm going to get you off of air. There you go. How about that? I don't need anything from you and Bandit. Get it out of here. All right, enough with you. Stop doing that. Let's go back out.
I didn't do anything. He wanted to say hello. He's even loving on the microphone.
Let's go out to Mike here. Hey, Pete, Bucks are back. Can't wait to watch your live stream this season.
I thought this was a pet-friendly show.
It is a pet-friendly show, but can you please pay attention to the show? Hey, Christopher Cole, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Michael Hulk. Let's go out to Lewis here. Says Palmer, absolutely. Roger Shue, use who you got. Michael again. Palmer, Jeremiah, enough of you. Goodbye. Enough of that. I don't need that. Jeremiah says stay with the young guys at wide receiver. Roger says Bucks will lose to Rodgers. But here's the thing. Rodgers is not going to even play in this preseason game on Saturday night, Leo. Of course, they don't want to get him hurt because the number one priority in preseason is not to get anybody hurt. But Roger, if he did a little bit of research instead of being, a troll.
This guy sucks.
Be nice to the fellow Greek guy, okay?
No. I'm not going to be nice to him. By my count, and this is according to Twitter here, Rodgers have been sacked 6 times in the last 10 6 times in the last 10 dropbacks. That's impressive. Aaron Rodgers was sacked by the Bucs today a lot of times, and then on top of it, threw a pick 6 to Anthony Nelson. So with all that being said, very encouraging with those joint practices by the defense, right, Leo?
Oh, anytime you can do that, it's great. But again,
exhibition.
The thing you got to understand, what is the weak link right now on the New York Jets? And again, David Alexander and I had a talk tonight, and he said, offensive line.
Yeah.
There's another team, Harry, that better run the football to protect number 8, because I was going to say number 12. That would have been scary, wouldn't it?
Well, that would have been scary, yes.
I'd be honest with you. I hope they don't run the football, and I hope that offensive line sucks, because there would be nothing more impressive than watching what was that, Bandit? Watching Aaron Rodgers just stop it. Just get smacked around a little bit, because, I know I'm I'm not kidding. You need to stop it, Bandit. I can't help it, Peter.
You know what? And again, he's not going to play. I don't think he'll take a snap during the exhibition season.
He might.
This
is the game. This is the game he might have to go out there and just hand the ball off a couple of times and hit a play action. If they don't, it's a mistake that the New York Jets are making, because you do have, I don't care if it's Aaron Rodgers or not, you have to get familiarized with the wide receivers. Yes, Peter, who's calling in?
No, nobody's calling in, but the correction here was Zach Wilson, who actually got a pick 6 to Anthony Nelson there. He threw it out there in the flat. Nelson made a play on, and I think that's impressive, but you're exactly right. They have to run the ball, which leads me to a great segue. Were you guys surprised that Dalvin Cook got signed by the Jets 1 year, $8.6 million? All we heard throughout the process, the Dolphins would be interested. Cook was not, because he wasn't going to get $10 million. And he didn't get $10 million. So how surprised were you, Leo, that he got that deal by the Jets? And does that make them better than the Dolphins, better than the Patriots, better than the Bills? And I'll throw this out there. Does that make them now a Super Bowl contender, yes or no?
You know what, Peter? I think I'm starting to lose you here. My phone's starting to die. But I got a feeling that Ron went in and lobbied for Dalvin Cook. Because that's a huge piece of the puzzle right there. You got a veteran running back who knows how to play the game, can run between the tackles, can also pass protect as well as catch the football. So that's huge. But you know what, guys? I better sign off because the old phone's getting ready to go.
We'll just stay on until it goes off.
Leo Haggerty, the legend. Thanks a lot for coming on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We'll see you soon, my friend.
We love you, brother.
Real quick, Peter, make sure you tell everybody we're going to do that USF postgame show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, guys. Yeah, that's the breaking news. We've been credentialed with Amped Up Sports, the sports web, with USF, baby. So that means there's definitely going to be a most likely a stand-up on the field if it's not too hot, and a post-game edition. So if you're a USF Bull fan, get ready for it. He's out of here. We're back here with Harry the Greek. USF football definitely deserves the pub. The last couple years, you know, I get it, a couple wins, but they definitely deserve some publicity here.
Absolutely.
We do Tampa Bay sports on the sports web.
They're a major college that takes care. But I want to go back to the comments about the New York Jets, and then we can talk USF if you like.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what the Jets remind me of?
Just in the season?
No. What's happening this year? You want to know what it reminds me of?
What's it remind you of?
Tom Brady's first year with the Buccaneers.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And they're going all in to win a Super Bowl. The difference is, Pete, was during COVID. That's when the Bucs were doing it. There was a lot less interference, and it took a lot longer for Tom Brady to get out of the gates. I mean, let's go back to that Thursday night game against the Chicago Bears when he thought it was 4th down and he's hanging it up the whole 9 yards. But after that, it just seems like it was starting to click a little better. And then all of a sudden, Peter, in that last quarter of the season, they really turned it on. And I mean, the team was just hitting on all cylinders.
7-5. We remember losing to the Chiefs, going 7-5, their first win versus the Vikings, and winning 8 in a row to win Super Bowl 55.
This is what this reminds me of. They're bringing in another older quarterback, very seasoned, who has all the capabilities in the world to win another Super Bowl. I'm not ready to anoint him to be the next Tom Brady because he's got the same amount of playoff wins as Jay Cutler had. Okay, let's just be real. Okay,
right.
Look, man, the Jets are doing it the right way. Okay, they still have some draft capital in the next couple of years, but they have sold their soul just like a lot of other teams, just like the Rams did, just like the Bucs did. But this team has a chance of being very special. The difference is there is nobody in the NFC South like the Miami Dolphins or the Buffalo Bills.
Right.
And yes, they can be arguably the favorites to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you definitely can favor them. Aaron Rodgers can get over the hump.
They won't be favorite.
Right.
You still have Kansas City. And what do you think, Bandit? Kansas City?
Yeah, okay. Bandit definitely likes Kansas City. I think a lot of people like Kansas City. Can they repeat? I mean, you got the Chargers there. Are they going to be any better? You have the Broncos now. It was a disaster last year with them getting a veteran quarterback and Russell Wilson. I'm not sure if he's done, but now you got Sean
Payton.
I
don't know. What does Bandit think? Hang on. Who do you like, Bandit? No?
Well, there you go, Bandit. You're speechless there. Great job.
He's speechless. You know what he's saying right now?
What is he saying
He's looking at you going, really, Peter? Really, Peter?
Shut up and be quiet. All right, let's go out to our comments. It's the Sports Web mobile phone lines. If you want to get in on this conversation, talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jets joint practice today. Say that 3 times. 727-255-0391. It's 727.
Can't do it.
0391. I know you can't. And the other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409. 7528 again, 727.
You're so smart.
7528. Thank you, sir. Let's go out to Eric. Man, Palmer, Moss Sauce, cornerback crazy, Palmer MVP. Let's get rid of Gage. You can't get rid of Gage. Gage is hurt. Gage sucks. Eric says Palmer better than Gage. It remains to be seen at this point, but he's definitely got lots of potential. Evening, guys. Peter and Leo, thank you very much.
Ooh, yeah.
Jets, just in the season. Eric says, plus he had a wife too. I think he's talking about Franco. Roger, sir, you behaved tonight. Roger again. Greekites rejoice. It's our leader right there. Okay, Roger.
Ooh, yeah.
You see the love right there. Got that little heart going.
KR says, don't you start, Roger. No need for this mess tonight. Behave, KR. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, KR?
Says, when is the over-under coming back? We read that. Dan says, Orioles and Rays in the ALCS. We talk about baseball on this show. Shane McClanahan is going to be out with a Tommy John surgery. He's not going to be back this year or 2024. How much of a devastating loss is that to that pitching rotation? And can they cobble enough of a pitching and pitchers together with Aaron Savali today doing a good job versus the Giants? Finally, can they get enough from that rotation to legitimately compete with the Orioles for the ALCS, in your opinion?
Honestly?
Yeah. Honestly, give me your opinion.
I don't think so, Pete.
Okay.
I think it would have to be a major letdown for the Orioles because this team is just if you asked any beat writer in this country that was non-biased, okay, if you could describe the Baltimore Orioles up to this point, you would have to call them, and I heard it great on the Major League Baseball Network,
right,
Mr. Consistency. And that's the way they've been all year long. They haven't been like they win every single game. It's just been very consistent play.
Correct.
There are holes in this team, especially in the starting rotation.
Right.
Some people will say their bullpen is no good. It's top 5 in all of baseball.
Right.
They're hitting. They say, well, they need some more hitters. Look, they're really good. I just don't see how Tampa catches this team this year. It's unfortunate. So, McClanahan, that's a huge piece that they're missing.
Yeah.
Huge piece. So, you may have to go back to playing old Rays type of baseball. You might have to go to some bullpen games, and let's just hold on and see what happens. But I wouldn't start that yet. I'd probably make that as a surprise going into the playoffs. And don't be surprised. That's what you see. They bring up some of the kids. They're going to, toward the end of the year, and they just start to have bullpen games, and whoever sticks. That's just my opinion.
Well, and I tell you right now, bullpen guy would be Zach Littell, who's definitely turning
awesome
around. I mean, he deserved better last night, only giving up, 2 runs. He's definitely turned his stuff around, and they got him off the scrap heap, right? I mean, he's a bullpen guy now. He's turned into a starter. You still have Zach Eflin there. Savali, as we talked about today, pitched well. And the guy that clearly is their ace right now, and knock on wood, hopefully he can stay healthy, because the Rays once again had another pitching injury to their bullpen, and Kevin Kelly, who's out for the year. Tyler Glasnow. I mean, to me, he's the key. If he can stay healthy the way he's pitching with those 3 alone, more than likely you're going to get Bradley back from minor league baseball. You're going to bring him up in September. I think they're going to be okay. The hitting, to me, is the biggest key. Can it get better? Can it get more consistent? Last night they weren't good. They lose 7-0. They have 3 hits. Today, 6-1. You can't really figure this team out. Bandit agrees with me on it.
Yeah, he does. He's actually behaving, but you made a comment, but it was kind of like a question.
Yeah.
I think you've seen the best hitting of this team earlier in the season, Peter.
Okay.
I really do. And, I think they were exposed to, teams have learned how to pitch against them. And, I mean, are they a superstar hitting team? No, they're not. They started out really hot. They've kind of, for lack of better words, they've kind of fizzled a little bit. But you know what? It doesn't make them a bad ball club. They're a damn good baseball club.
Yeah.
But they just so happen to be in a really damn good division. Could you imagine if this team was in the White Sox division?
In the Central? Yeah. I mean,
just honestly,
yeah.
They'd be 90 wins already, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating that. Okay. They're that good.
I completely agree with you on that. And I tell you another thing, I think Brandon Lau is starting to turn it around a little bit. You have Luke Raley, who's been a
that? Hold on. What was that?
Yeah,
if they were in the Cubs division, they'd be in 3rd place. Are you sure? No, the Cubs suck.
All right.
Look at them. We upset Bandit.
Bandit's not upset. Bandit doesn't care. All right. Roger says, hey, KR, where is Fat Mike? He's not here. Misador says the biggest impact he had was when he changed his jersey number. I think he's talking about Russell Gage.
Father Nelson for Pete. I'll show you how to do that.
This guy sucks.
Shut up. Gage was a waste of signing.
That's love wrestling, I thought.
Right. Shut up. KR, sorry, dude. Got paid to be hurt, unfortunately, and they need to just grow their own guys and maybe sign a veteran, maybe a Jarvis Landry.
Good idea.
Kenny Galladay is out there. Do you think the Bucs can get a cheap deal? They don't have lots of money in the first
tell you something.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Kenny Galladay
can't stay healthy.
Yeah, it's not just that. There
Not
was so much.
consistent.
If he was to come to Tampa and they got him on a bargain and not have to be the main wide receiver,
Mm-hmm.
I think he would flourish back to the days to when he was in Detroit. I think he'd resemble more of a receiver that played in Detroit than he did with the New York Giants.
Okay.
Just my opinion. Jarvis Landry, I know I prematurely said that he would be a really good addition. You don't want him, man. He's too
No,
old.
yeah, I think he's
He's too
done.
old.
I think he's seen his best days.
No.
He didn't really make an impact with the Saints. He's supposed to make this big time impact with the Saints. He's supposed to be like Michael Thomas. And once again, Landry didn't make an impact. Thomas didn't make an impact because he was hurt. So good question there, KR. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Let's go on to Roger. DJ Moore is God. Michael says, when are the Bucs going to get a quarterback, or is this a wait until next season year? Go ahead and answer that question, because I'll tell you right now, Baker Mayfield, for me, is the starter from week 1. I'm going to be entirely optimistic. I would not be surprised if he has a Geno Smith type of turnaround where he definitely becomes that quarterback that a lot of fans expected him to be in 2018 when he was the first overall pick. And I would not be surprised if he has that type of year that the Bucs would sign him to an extension. Where do you stand on this?
Wow, that's a lot of questions, Pete. But
Thank you.
I'm going to make a comment first, Steve. First comment is, I don't think he's going to have a Geno Smith type of year because he's a better quarterback than Geno Smith. Okay, let's just be very clear about that. I hate the comparison and the analogy. I understand it's because of Canales is here, but he's not even being close. I mean, that's not even the same skill set. Baker Mayfield's a far superior quarterback than what Geno Smith is. Geno Smith is a better running quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Now, I believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have their quarterback on the roster. It's either going to be Kyle Trask and or Baker Mayfield. They are their future. One of them will be their future. If they are not, you have to draft a quarterback next year. You need to unload this team because you are now full rebuild. The end. You are rebuild because you don't have the capital to build another team around them. You just don't have it. You now get rid of Mike Evans.
I would disagree.
Of course you're going to.
Because that's the reason why they decided to take the cap hit this year. So next year they're going to be cleaned up, and they're most likely going to sign Mike Evans before camp is over to an extension. Now, if they don't,
that'll be great. If they sign him, that means your quarterback's on this roster. My point, Pete, is if they go get a rookie, okay, you are going to start all over again. You are not building a playoff team right out of the gates, but you might, because this particular division is horse crap. Let's just be honest. It's just no good.
Right.
But then again, you remember back about 10 years ago that every year a different team won the NFC South?
Sure.
That's a lot of parity, and that was a very competitive division. I loved it when they did that. It was the Bucs one year, it was the Falcons one year, it was Carolina, and then it was the New Orleans Saints, and it just was like a revolving door. Everybody had a chance.
Right.
I love those type of divisions. It wasn't like the NFC North when it was Green Bay, and everybody else was. We might be able to make it for a wild card team. Here in the South, everybody had a chance. But going back to the original question. If the Buccaneers have to draft a quarterback, I say you bust this team up and then you build around your new quarterback. That's just my opinion.
And see, for me, I think that's what ruins a quarterback's development, right?
It can.
Right.
It can. I don't think they're going to have to. I don't think they're going to have to draft one, Pete. You got your quarterback on this roster.
I know
that Misador's out there and everybody else is probably throwing stuff at their computer saying, Kyle Trask sucks. Kyle Trask sucks. We don't know until he goes out there week 1 if he starts or at any point in the season. If they brought in Baker Mayfield to be QB1, they sure as hell did not pay him QB1 money. Okay?
Right.
That's pretty obvious. Everybody can be enamored because they got Baker Mayfield. They did not pay him QB1 money.
And the reason why they didn't pay him QB money is
they don't have the money.
Well, not only that, but he didn't deserve QB1 money because he didn't play like that. I mean, he had flashes of brilliance versus the Rams, and that's
he was hurt.
But he wasn't just hurt. He was also he was ineffective. He was largely ineffective. He wasn't hurt the whole year. He just got to the Carolina Panthers a little bit too late.
What happened in Cleveland, Peter, was horrible to what they did to that young man.
I agree.
They almost ended that guy's career, marching him back on the field. And some people are going to say, well, he wanted to play. Of course he did. Okay? Name a player that's not competitive that doesn't want to play, and I'm going to tell you a player that's just no good.
What's that?
Players want to go out there injured. I remember when Walter Payton played a game on a dislocated knee and ran for 270 plus yards because he
Right.
wanted to be out there. That
Right.
was one of the most moronic decisions that anybody ever could have did
Right.
to arguably the best running back of all time. But why are you running a quarterback out there with a hurt back, a hurt knee, a hurt pancreas? I mean, the guy was so banged up, and then his shoulder got banged up. They let him sit out for 2 weeks, and he's like, I'm going to be ready to go. And Cleveland's like, yep, we're going to let you. Are you out of your tree?
Well,
And then hold on, then you get rid of him, and then you bring him to Carolina.
Right.
And then Carolina's like, this guy still wasn't fully healthy. You could see it. He couldn't throw anything to the left at all without bouncing on the carpet. And then he went to the Los Angeles Rams, and nobody knew the playbook, and he had a resemblance to some success. Now, fast forward a whole season to get healthy.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have the Baker Mayfield of year 2 in the NFL, not his last year or the last 2 years that he's been in here. Because this is the kid that can bring you. I'm going to tell you something right now. Baker Mayfield has the capabilities of bringing this team to a promised land if they're competitive around them.
Well, that's the biggest question, though. I mean, because there's no denying his talent, and there's no denying that he's had a year like 2020. You mentioned it, 27-6? And he's a couple plays away from unseating the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a couple plays away. We could be talking about the Cleveland Browns in the Super Bowl. That's Baker Mayfield. I'm on with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports. I'm your host, Peter Blake. It's the Sports Web. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. The biggest question mark with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2023, and I didn't think it was a big-time question mark, but now it's become a huge question mark.
The offensive line.
It's the offensive line.
Yep. And you know what? It's very concerning. Not like it was last year. Okay, because last year they relied heavily on passing the football. It is a lot easier to run block than it is to pass protect. I wish Misador was out there. He could be on here because he could really explain it, or even a Blake Anthony to really explain in depth how important it is for pass blocking, and how much easier it is to run block. It's a lot easier to push someone than it is to protect yourself. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about with Kyle Trask and or Baker Mayfield, that's the reason. There's 2 reasons. They didn't have the money to spend. I think it's horse crap that people think that he came because he got such a cheap deal because he just didn't play that well. Jameis Winston's getting $10 million a year. I don't want to hear that crap.
Right.
This quarterback is getting paid backup money because they have every intention on giving Kyle Trask every opportunity to be QB1. They have to because they spent a second-round draft pick on him. Otherwise, it will be a bust. And if they don't give this young man a chance to do this, let me explain to you what's going to happen. Not only do you look like a bunch of buffoons that don't know how to draft people, which is not the case because Tampa has got one of the best general managers in the entire National Football League, but because you're going to have to pay this young man really soon. If he's going to stick, he's going to stick. But if he plays somewhat decent, but they believe Baker's their guy, now they have some trade capital with Kyle Trask.
Well,
I'm not saying anything more on it.
Here's what I'll say about this, and Sal Palantonio was talking about this on the J.P. Peterson show the other day. It's easy to go with Baker to start the season and go to Trask.
You said this. That's a really good point.
Well, that was Sal's point, okay?
And I think it's the other way around, to be honest with you.
Well, to me, if you go with Trask the first couple weeks and it blows up on you, then the young man's going to lose confidence. Then you have to basically go with him. If you go with Baker as your first guy and you say, you know what, it's not working out, we're going to go with Trask, we're going to see what we have, that's an easiasier transition. That's what
the season will already be in the tank. But if Tampa Bay does start Kyle Trask, and let's just say they go 500 in the first 4 games or even 6 games, and they're doing it not because of the quarterback play, but because they're running the football and they're getting adequate quarterback play.
Sure.
And you think you could have won one more game if you had a better field general up underneath center, someone that was able to make that pass without being so indecisive, but yet more decisive, and that may be Baker Mayfield. You see, that's where I think Sal Palantonio might be off the mark on here. I think it's easier to go to a Baker Mayfield when the season's not out of reach. If the season's out of reach with Baker, now you're putting Kyle Trask in there, and now you've completely killed his confidence because now the team's given up.
You're giving him the opportunity to
I just gave you the other side of it.
Right. You give him the opportunity to turn it around. And then if he can't turn it around, then you got two quarterbacks that are completely useless. What do you guys think? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, come on, Bucs fans. 727-409-7528. Again, 727-409-7528. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. The Bears are going to be the bums. They better worry about Detroit. So let's talk about that. How concerned are you with the Lions? A lot of people getting behind them, opening up versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nothing would make me happier than to see the Lions finally come out of obscurity. And I'm from the NFC North. Look, I'm a football fan, KR. It's not just about being a homer for your own team. I'll speak the truth on it. But I will tell you this. The Chicago Bears have the best quarterback in that division. Yeah. And they arguably have some of the better wide receivers.
Well,
said some of the better wide receivers. The best wide receivers in Jefferson. It's going to be very competitive. They're going to have a really good running game. You know where the Bears are going to be having a problem this year, guys? It's not going to be the secondary, and it's not going to be the linebacker core. Because you want to talk about stiff? Let me tell you something. That's some of the best linebacker cores in secondary you're going to find in football. The problem is that defensive line. They don't really have anybody to go ahead and rush the passer. And anybody who's smoking crack out there that thinks that Njoku's going to be the answer, the end-all, be-all. He's not Khalil Mack. Okay, he's a guy that's going to get 8, 10, maybe even 12 sacks if they had a pass rusher on the other side. But you're probably right. Detroit's probably going to be the team to beat out there, but we won't know that until week 4. But that was a great comment. I appreciate it.
It is great as always, KR. And once again, I do owe you wings there for the perfect pick there. You took advantage of it. He picked Bryce Young for the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, he
Carolina is going to have him. I get it. It's preseason. But kind of a little bit worried there about the young man playing. He was seen on his tippy toes. Maybe he can't see over the line. I mean, do you think he's going to be successful with the Panthers? Did the Panthers have enough? They got rid of DJ Moore. Did they have enough for him to be successful, Harry?
The two best quarterbacks in the draft went after him. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Wow. CJ Stroud and go ahead. And who's the other one?
The young man that went to Tennessee.
It's not Will Levis.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I think Levis is terrible. He's
not terrible.
He's been terrible.
Will Levis will be a successful quarterback in the National Football League unless Tennessee ruins him and starts him week 1.
All right.
If they start him week 1,
they ain't starting week 1. Ryan Tannehill is going to start week 1, and you're going to.
What I'm saying is he will end up being their quarterback, and I'm telling you, he's got so much upside. But let's just be real. I mean, who would you have rather had, CJ Stroud or Young?
I like Young coming out of college. The problem for me is the size, right? I mean, that's the thing.
There you go, buddy.
It's red flags for me. It's like almost
how many undersized quarterbacks versus oversized or regular sized quarterbacks have made it? What's the over under on?
Right. Okay. You're absolutely right. I tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines. Jason Powers on
Jason
podcast. Of course, No Quarter Given podcast on the BuckPower.com podcast network. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the Greek, Harry the Greek of 1252 Chicago Sports. What's on your mind tonight, boss?
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Doing great, buddy. How you doing?
My brother. What's going on, Jason?
I'm doing well. Peter, what irony. We talked about last night, Mr. Gage. And today the doomsday scenario happens. So you Buck fans got to go check out our podcast. We talked about this topic last night concerning Russell Gage.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Isn't that some irony, man? How about that, Peter?
I mean, that was the biggest thing coming into the season. Could Russell Gage get over the injury situation that he had last year? And we talked about it. When he was able to stay healthy, he was very effective. But when he's not able to, I mean, that's what you worry about. So that's why a Trey Palmer could be in that conversation, a Devin Tompkins. Maybe they go after another wide receiver, the veteran route. We were talking about Kenny Golladay. I mean, Jason, could you see them going with a Trey Palmer or a Devin Tompkins or going after a veteran like a Golladay? Or I hope this is not a thought. Julio Jones. I don't want to see that happen again. I think he's done. Could you see them going the veteran route or sticking with the younger guys, Jason?
I think they're going young this year because if you listen, I don't know if you guys listened to Mike Evans today in his press conference up in New York. He said this was Trey Palmer's best day as a pro today at this practice.
Wow, and that's against the top corner, one of the top young corners in the league in Sauce Gardner. Just saying, guys. That's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Hey, Jason, I got a question for you, buddy.
Yeah, man, go.
With inflation, why is it still called no quarter given? Why don't you call it like, hey, it's only $50?
You shut up and be quiet.
This guy sucks.
We need to rename it Peter's Alligator Arms is what we need.
Oh, so we're going to go there. We're going to go there with that. He's talking about food. You better stop right now, Harry.
Shut up!
And you shut up, Jason.
No, seriously, man. Why are we calling it no quarter given, man? With this administration and this inflation, we got to at least be $50, man. Let's go.
Oh, man. Jeez. All right, Jason. Forget that question. What else do you want to talk about tonight, my friend?
Yeah, man. That was it, man. I just wanted to give you a call because it's just ironic how you and I were talking Russell Gage and what are you guys' thoughts on practice today? I heard some good things. Sound like the defensive line played really good against the Jets O-line, and sounds like both quarterbacks moved the ball pretty good on the Jets defense a little bit.
I mean, that's a great thing. You hear the defense getting after Aaron Rodgers for 6 sacks. That's encouraging.
I just wish Aaron Rodgers would have taken a couple of more shots. That's what I would have liked.
Wow, wow. Green
Bay sucks.
But it's Aaron Rodgers sucks. I know what you're saying, and I think that was the encouraging thing. And then on top of it, you talk about the offensive line, Jason and Harry. The right side is the biggest question mark, also Ryan Jensen, but you didn't hear about that defense getting after the quarterbacks today. So that is encouraging in itself. And I think, once again, Trey Palmer doing what he's doing against Sauce Gardner. I mean, that's not a slouch. And people go, well, it's just a joint practice. That's probably more important than the preseason game on Saturday. Oh, yeah, and I know you're going to do that, Harry. Go ahead, Jason.
It's preseason.
Oh, shut up.
Here's an interesting thing you can think about, too, is with Trey Palmer's speed on the outside, what the Bucs could potentially do, and I know they talked about not wanting to do this, they could put Palmer outside, and you can shift Chris Godwin back to the slot.
Well, absolutely.
That's his natural position anyway.
Well, you could shift him back to the slot, and also you can play around with this because Mike Evans has been totally dominating in training camp. I mean, the guy could have a career year. You could put him in the slot. So you're going to try to guard 6'5", 6'6" in the slot? Good luck with that. Good luck, corners out there in the National Football League. It's going to be a tough matchup for you.
Slot.
But I definitely think they're going the youth route. I don't think they're going to go outside the organization because, again, they don't have much salary cap room.
That's it.
And you don't want to go spend $3 or $4 million on a aging kind of guy like a Jarvis Landry. And then Kenny Galladay's worthless. You're not signing him.
That's how I feel too. I mean, ever since he's gotten the big time contract, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. He hasn't been able to stay consistent. Why would you pick him up? Besides, there is potential there when he is healthy. But when is he healthy? The last 3 years, never. With that being said, we talk about the quarterback situation. What Baker's played the other night, have you changed your tune? Do you think it's Baker's job to lose here, Jason? Or do you think Kyle Trask still has an opportunity to secure the starting spot if he has a good game versus the Jets on Saturday night?
No, I mean, I believe I know you had Ira on last week, and he made the statement, and he doesn't make those kind of statements unless he hears it from the horse's mouth, basically. I mean, and I've said all along, if it's even, then I think Trash should get the opportunity. But if they think that Mayfield's clearly better at this point, then you play Mayfield. But I think, that's been my position all along, and I don't think this week, unless it's just terrible by Mayfield and tremendous by Trask, it sounds like Mayfield's going to get the ball in Minnesota.
All right.
I think this week is going to be the other way around. I think it's going to be Trask. It's going to, oh my God, look at Trask, look at Baker. He has struggled. But you know what? Nothing surprises me here, guys. You know what? I don't care who they put up under center. They're going to run the football. The end.
Well, they have to run the football, and a little bit of a scare earlier on in the week there with Rashard White's going down, but he's okay. Thank God for that. You've got Sean Tucker, you got Chase Edmonds, so somebody will have to emerge to be that second running back. With all that being said, there still are some position battles to be fought out. What are you looking forward to, Jason Powers, on Saturday night versus the Jets? What are you looking to see?
Yeah, another thing I heard that they did well today is the running game. The offensive line ran the ball really well today.
There you go, Harry.
And Gedeke, that I heard good things that they ran.
Oh, it's a miracle.
Right. Well, there you go. They can actually run block. That's amazing.
Wait a minute. Hold on. It's a little different in pass blocking. I told you.
Yeah, but what my point was is they were able to run block the other night versus the Steelers, and they couldn't do it versus second and third stringers. You're like, oh, just calm down. It's the first.
Jason, have you ever noticed? And I really wish you could see Peter right now when he's talking with his passion. He gets those eyes like number 50 from Mike Singletary. He just starts to look like they're bugging out of his head because he's like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. And you're right. Alligator arms and Mike Singletary's eyes. I think we're just going to call him 50 from now on.
You owe me wings, buddy, for Anthony Richardson for being.
Oh, I know. Hail to the King, Peter.
That's right. But with that being said, how surprised are we, gentlemen, that he's getting the start right away? They're starting. I'm not surprised.
I'll buy you wings while I'm still counting my Benjis, okay? Don't worry about it.
Count your Benjis up, but have my wings there, buddy, by the first of the season. But how, Jason, how surprised are you with Richardson starting right away without Jonathan Taylor? And it doesn't look like there's any sign of that turning around anytime soon.
That's the only move they can make at this point. They're in a rebuild year. I mean, this is not going to be a contending team, I don't think.
Who?
And
the Colts.
The Colts?
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: if you start Minshew, then you can't run the offense that Steichen wants to run with some of the quarterback runs and the read plays and all that. Whereas if you start, you got to start Richardson. He's going to struggle in the passing game, and they might run the ball okay, but they're not. They're going to be behind. So he's going to have to throw the ball, and he's going to have his growing pains throwing the ball. We've seen it. The terrible interception last week. He didn't. He's throw some picks to Florida. He's going to struggle in the passing game at the NFL level for this first year, but it's the right move.
So even if he throws the ball from the 20 all the way to the end zone, it's the wrong move. I agree with you, bud. But I'm just being a smart ass because everybody was so enamored with his athleticism. Look, man, I've seen a lot of athletic quarterbacks, okay?
Sure, you're right.
Let him develop, for God's sakes. Please let him develop.
But they're not
the biggest. I know
in there, and they got
mistake.
God-awful organization. They got a god-awful owner who thinks getting a whale over a well of a running back. He is a franchise running back. Yes, I'm bugging out right now like Mike Singletary. You're not going to pay your top running back. You're going to get a well instead. You're going to buy a well instead. It makes no sense to me, Jim Irsay. Go ahead, Jason.
Don't draft any Colt players in your fantasy drafts this coming up next week.
There you go.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Jason, I really wish you'd help me here with this guy.
What, fantasy football?
No, you.
Me? What about me?
You and your Mike Singletary eyes. Jason, please, you got to come on and save me.
This guy sucks.
Okay. All right.
Harry the Greek, give me an assessment of a lot of hype with your guy in Chicago, Mr. Fields.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm not a big Justin. I wasn't a Justin Fields fan, but I'm going to tell you right now, he is the best quarterback in that division.
Wow.
He is going to. Oh yeah, and it's not even close. It's not even close. I'm not kidding you. I mean, you're going to see such a big difference this year offensively. A lot of people don't realize that Chicago was a pretty potent offense last year, and they ran the football. The difference this year is they're not going to have to run the football like they did with the weapons that they have, and that offensive line has been revamped and a lot better. The problem you should be asking me about this team. It isn't about the quarterback play in Chicago. It should be about the defensive play on the line itself. The secondary and linebackers, I'll put them up against anybody in the National Football League. That's how good they are in the secondary and linebacker core. But getting to the quarterback on defense is going to be a problem. But offensively, that will not be a challenge team at all. They will put up 30 points a game at any point, and they can play with anybody this year. I'm not kidding you. They're that good.
And I certainly kind of agree with you on that. I think he could take, that next progression, right, as Jalen Hurts did last year. Mm-hmm. Justin Fields could be the same.
Let's analyze with the quarterbacks in that division. And we're not talking about anybody. Jordan Love, forget about it. Okay, I mean he really isn't too much. Jared Goff,
he played well last year.
Hold on. He's playing really well in a good system. But I really want to talk about the guy that can't win on Monday night. Okay, that's sitting over there in Minnesota. Anybody want to take him? Anybody?
No.
Anybody want Kirk Cousins? Anybody want a guy on a team that went 13-3 last year and hold on, made an early first round exit? No.
What? All right.
I would say this, Harry the Greek. Week 1 at Minnesota, Bucks plus 6.5 with a new OC. Don't have any film on this guy as far as calling plays. I think a decent Buccaneer defense. I think that's a pretty good play.
It's not a decent Buccaneer defense. This is a really good Buccaneer defense that's going to be stifling. The question is, should you play the over or under in that game? And that's where, my friend, you need to stay tuned. Anytime you're on the road getting 6.5 points, don't bet it yet, Buck fans, because you're going to be up to 7.5, even 8 points. Wait till later, because that line's going to inflate. But my play is going to probably be on the over in that game, because let's be factual here. Minnesota has no defense.
Yes.
They still don't have a good defense. They suck. Period.
Yeah, they do. And Brian Flores being the new defensive coordinator, he's trying to improve it. But at the end of the day, you also have to have talent. Jason Powers on Sports Podcast, No Quarter Given on the BuckPower.com podcast network. Thanks a lot for your time here on the evolution of sports talk television, my friend. All right.
All right, fellas, I got to go back to count my change to work around alligator arms over there. So
hey, I got your alligator arms right here, okay?
Here comes the money. We need that 50 cents, bro.
Oh, will you shut up and be quiet? See you, Jason. Thanks a lot for the call. Let's go out to the tribal.
Acknowledge me.
Using his second call, Roger Shue. Welcome back to the Sports Web.
What up, 50?
What do you want? What? Why? Where are my wings at? Where are
half
my
a buck? Where's his wings? Hey, listen, bro. You want wings?
Exactly why I was calling.
Okay. Well.
Don't you own the Greek like 7 steaks?
No,
yes.
I don't. No, I don't.
Yes.
I owe him 7 steaks.
Listen, bro. Listen.
He owes me a steak dinner too, also.
Oh yeah. Next thing I know, I owe you money. I mean, are you
You
kidding
owe
me?
money. Yeah, you owe me money. Big baller.
Shot caller.
That's it. All right, Roger. What else?
So about your wings.
Yeah. They get lost in the
I'll
mail?
give you your wings once you give the Greek his 7 steaks.
Oh, shut up. You're never going to give me your wings. You're a cheapskate. We
Ready?
all
Greekites in the house. Here you go. I give you my blessing.
You know what? Here's what you get for not giving me wings. Right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through. Oh, God. He's calling back. What do you want? What do you want? You're a pain in the ass. What do you want?
Listen, little Pete Malaka.
Peter, I don't even have to train him to do it. He knows.
You know, I blame this on you because you got your cold out there. You
should
this
just
jabroni right here.
Just do me a favor, embrace it, okay?
Jabroni right there. Jabroni.
Just embrace it. Don't hate.
Jabroni.
Don't hate the player, bro. Hate the game.
Oh God. What are you? Okay.
Exactly.
All right. What else, Roger? You're killing me.
Okay. The Chicago Bears
are
going to start out 2-0. They're going to be Green Bay game 1. They're going to trounce the Buccaneers game 2.
I hope the Bucs beat the Bears
because
I will never. I swear, I will never let you live it down, my friend. Never let you live it down that the Bucs beat the Bears. You will be trolled for the rest of your days here.
My question is here, Peter. What happens if the Bears do beat the Bucs? You're gonna let them troll you? Oh, wait a minute, it's your show. You could do whatever you want.
Pretty much. He already trolls me anyway. So, all right. What else, Roger?
So let's do this. If the Bears beat.
No, I'm not doing any more bets with you unless you buy me wings. No, you're not rephrasing anything.
This is coming from the guy that hasn't even bought KR his wings.
Oh, shut up. I said that.
I got you, KR. I got you, bro.
You got nothing. Be quiet.
I got you, bro.
That's what my dad used to say. You got
ready?
STIFF.
Stiff.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. This is what I say.
Here comes the money.
Go ahead.
Number 50 in the Greek.
If
when the Bears beat the Buccaneers, Peter, number 50, takes me in the Greek to
Greek town
at the Sponge Docks.
Okay, yeah, I could dig with
Okay,
that Greek
all
town,
right,
but
I'll do
he
that.
can't afford it there. Hey Roger, you and I are gonna have to
You
foot the
know, I'm
bill.
going to tell you right now.
You're right.
I'm getting sick of both of you at this point.
I got to make a payment on my
I'm
microphone.
ready to kick you out and him out at the same time.
Wait a minute, I could go to bed.
Yeah, you can go to bed if you're tired. Roger, thanks a lot for the call. You put us all to sleep. Thanks a lot. You're the cure for insomnia.
Roger, thanks for calling in, buddy.
I
That was a
appreciate
great
you.
call as
All right.
usual.
Yes, a Greek
One of
guy.
the Greek guys had to come in and save the day here.
Your little Colts. All right.
Wait
here.
a minute, where's Ray Kennedy?
He ain't here. Go ahead and promote yourself. I'll get you out of here on that. Go away. Go to
I'm
sleep.
Harry the Greek. Thank you so much for tuning in and putting up with my crap. KR, bro, I'm telling you, man, I'm going to get those wings for you, bro. For real. For real. Much love, man. I got it out there for everybody. Cannot wait for week 1. Yes, you heard it first. I am going to be doing the over-under live only on the Sports Web this year. It looks like that. And we haven't decided on which day. I might have to kick Peter off his Sports Web thing on a Wednesday. We're not really sure yet. And that's it. Well, it might, because the Greek usually get what he wants. I'm like that pendulum child that goes, hey, look at me. That's me. But
Well,
anyway.
you know how you get it done, right? You buy my steak dinner. That's how you maybe get it done.
Oh, yeah. I got to buy him a steak dinner. But what he doesn't realize that it's going to cost him a lot more than a steak dinner for me to do a show on this platform. Anyway, I'm Harry the Greek. Thanks for tuning in. Keep your bets low and your returns high. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Seriously, it's been a lot of fun. And you know what I like most about the preseason? It's not serious. We are able to have some fun. I hope you guys were as entertained as we were. Thanks for all the good callers. Thanks for all the love that are out there. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire.
Hey, hang on. Are we doing wrestling here in a little bit?
We are doing wrestling coming up. Yes.
Who's in the back room?
Well, nobody's in the back room yet. You scared them all away.
There's no Mancini brothers?
There's no Mancini brothers. Yeah, you're going to have to wait to see them next week. Maybe you'll get back on when they're in here. Say hi.
No Mark Mancini?
No, not right now. He'll be coming on here in about 5 minutes. Hopefully.
Mark?
Then we'll just sit here and talk Bucs. We won't talk anymore.
I'll just sit here. You can talk. I'm just going to wait.
Okay. Want to get you out of here for the night. Have a good night, Harry.
No, I got to say hello to the Mancini brothers.
All right. You stay on here. I'll read the comments as always. Let's see
good.
here. Go Bulls.
I told you. I get my way.
I'm a Bulls alum. Good stuff there, KR.
Oh, yeah.
God, I hate you. Larry says Gage needs to be gone. He's been hurt last 3 years. Wasted money. Has it been 3 years? I thought it was 2 years.
It's 2 years, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if
it's
it's been 3 years.
It seems like it's been 3 years because he hasn't really played that much. Are we having issues with the feed tonight, guys? No, I don't know what's going on. Ben, LBD bringing the heat. Jeremiah AR does have Cook, but no offensive line. I think you're talking about Taylor.
Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Okay, my bad. I don't know what I'm thinking. How did the O-lines do today?
Very good.
Bad. Yeah, that was good, Ben. So good comment as always.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremiah says Bandit wants to take the picture frame out of the Greek. Roger says, go Cubs, go. Bandit is a Cubs fan. Wow, those are fighting words right there. Galladay is interesting, but yeah, he's injury prone too. KR again. I'd rather take Landry since he would be around Evans and Godwin. He would be a solid leader. Agree with that? Is that a good point by KR? Solid leader?
Yes, but not enough speed. Not like the speed that he had. I like the young kids that this team has on it now.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there. Let me go back out to the comments. Roger says Mayfield just sucks, period. You know what? You suck.
This guy sucks.
Christopher Cole says if it wasn't for Brady, I doubt Light would have not signed Gage because Brady doesn't like rookie wide receivers. Good point, Christopher. As always, Roger says I want to see Rodgers with a torn ACL, MCL, and PCL. Oh, my God.
He wants the trifecta of all knee injuries.
The hatred here for Aaron Rodgers. Hit the damn like button. Absolutely. Christopher Cole, Cubs are playing down to their competition. Roger says, I agree, Chris. Roger again, 50-50-50. KR laughing. That's always good.
We know why KR is laughing.
Yeah.
KR, I got your wings. I promise you we're going to meet up. We're going to definitely You shut up, Harry, and be quiet.
AR, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the one who's going to have to end up buying your wings, okay? Don't believe this. But my wings ain't coming from Domino's. KR, when you get wings, you get them from places like Whiskey Wings, okay?
Oh, that'd be nice.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, look at this. You got somebody here.
Or Wing House.
Here you go. You got Ralph Williams in there. We'll wait for Mark here.
Ralph!
Roger is past his bedtime here. Good night, everyone. No turnbuckle talk. All right, Roger, you're missing out. Stand by, Harry. I got to take a quick break here. No Larry Bumgarner tonight from Best Hope Counseling. His uncle passed away, so prayers to him and his family. Here's a word from our sponsors on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Keep it locked. Are you an athlete or professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Bumgarner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com. We are definitely going to be here. Let me go ahead and get the announcement up. Is the third annual pre-Labor Day car show by Twisted Outlaws on September 3rd at the Stockyard, by the Stockyard there in Holiday, Florida. The Sports Web will definitely be out there. You'll have raffles, vendors, cash prizes, show cars, car audio, and of course the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Get out there. The address is 1916 U.S. Highway 19 in Holiday, Florida. Here we go.
The third annual pre-Labor Day car show is speeding your way September 3rd, only at the Stockyard in Holiday, Florida, with cash prizes, raffles, and vendors from all over Pasco County. Don't miss out on this year's car show competition, where we are handing out trophies for Best of Show, Best Audio Setup, Best Paint Job, Best Original Design, and many, many more. Call today for more information.
I love that. Here's where I will be on September 3rd. All right, welcome back to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about with Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire at 1252 Chicago Sports. Of course, we got Ralph Williams coming up here, Turnbuckle Talk, and we're waiting for the other Mancini brother, who's a big-time Pittsburgh Steeler fan, Mr. Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. Let's go out to David here, answer this question. So now with the injury, who do you think our number 3 is going to be? I would either say Trey Palmer or Devin Tompkins. Who do you say, Harry the Greek?
It's going to be Trey Palmer. The kid's really good. I was busting your balls earlier today. It should be Trey Palmer, honestly.
Okay. All right. So there you go. Trey Palmer has every opportunity.
They need that speed.
They do need that speed. And I tell you right now, if he can have those consistent hands, because like you said, training camp is one thing, preseason games are another, but when it becomes the regular season, that's when, everything hits the fan, if you know what I mean. All right. So
you're the chef of the poo-poo soup.
There you go. Exactly. You want to say hi to Ralph really quick here?
Yeah, but where's the other Mancini
I don't know what he's doing. He's running late as always.
I like Ralph better anyway. Bring him up.
All right, let me go out to Ralph Williams, bodyguard of the Berg, of course, newest Pittsburgh radio personality of Beaver County. Welcome to the evolution, my friend. How you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, man. And I know we're getting ready to talk turnbuckle talk here, WWE, AEW action, lots of news going on right now. And of course, we know our guy, Harry the Greek, is not necessarily the biggest wrestler.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know what? I had to stay on a few extra minutes. I wanted to be able to say hello to my buddy, but my life's not complete. I don't see the other Mancini brother.
Yeah, where is Mancini at? What's he doing tonight? Is he running?
He said he was coming on. He said, "I'll see you, for 10:30." So
well,
here we are.
It's supposed to be 10:20, but now it's 10:30. So I got to ask you, Ryan Pickett played the other night. He's going to be your starting quarterback, second year. Ralph, what did you think of his performance? Very impressive. Goes right down against that Buck defense. That first drive, George Pickens, 33 yards. Your thoughts on his performance, George Pickens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers overall?
Well, I think the Steelers are going to do pretty decent this year. We're looking at most of the guys that I've had on my radio show that are, reporters for the Steelers. They have all said to me, we're looking at 10-6 or 11. I'm sorry, 10-7 or 11-6.
Wow.
It can be done, but it all depends on offensive coordinator.
No chance.
Willing to change up the offense and start throwing down the middle. We saw some of it on Friday. I thought that the first team played, for the first two possessions well. Trubisky had an interception. I thought Mason Rudolph played well, though.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph definitely played well. Your quarterback there, your favorite quarterback, Harry the Greek, Money Mitch, was not money at all. In fact,
no, not at all. I think he should.
Yeah, he's still better than Mason Rudolph. You want to keep him as an option, but Pittsburgh still doesn't have a quarterback to talk about.
So you're not buying.
Yeah.
You're not buying this.
I think we have the best quarterback room in the entire NFL. There's nobody. We have 3 experienced quarterbacks. 3.
Yep, you sure do.
How many teams can say that?
No, they can't.
I don't know. I don't know about the best quarterback room in the NFL. I mean, Patrick Mahomes had something to say about that. Josh Allen has something to say about that.
I know that, but that's one quarterback.
Listen.
We have 3 quarterbacks that are experienced and can play in the NFL level. I mean.
Yeah, you know what they say about having having 2 or 3 quarterbacks. You basically don't have a quarterback, but I think it definitely falls on the second-year quarterback. I mean, what do you think of him? What's your analysis on his play? Do you think he takes that next step this year, Ralph?
Yes, I do. I believe he will. I think Kenny Pickett's going to do well this year. I think he'll take the next step. Question is, can the offensive line block for him? We're going to have rookie Broderick Jones probably starting at left tackle. You don't draft somebody at number 1 to have him sit. And Dan Moore Jr., I think, is a bum. He needs to go or be moved to the right side because he stinks on the left side. And, we have changes on the offensive line, which I think are going to work out. We have Salomalu from Philly. We have Herbick. So I think we're going to do pretty decent this year with the offensive line.
The Pittsburgh Steelers will go as far as that running game takes them because their quarterback play is not going to be there if they have to rely on the arm. The offensive line is in shambles when it comes to trying to pass protect. I've dissected this team high and low, upside down, in the whole 9 yards. But I will tell you this, Ralph. If that running game does get going, like I know that they can do in Pittsburgh, they will have tremendous success at the quarterback position. With that being said, if it's the other way around, it's going to be a long season. But let me tell you something. They always learned, and they always do know how to run the football when it really becomes time for it. Tomlin is not a dumb coach. I think they're going to go to a heavy run game this year.
Oh, absolutely. They have to play action. They have to do it. It has to work. Both lines of scrimmages have been improved this year. So, I mean, we'll see what goes on. The defense has a lot of money into it, guys, and I think the defense really needs to step up.
That defense is not going to be the problem this year. That defense is not going to be. It's the offensive line.
Stay healthy. That's the big thing. Can he stay healthy? Because if he can stay healthy, he's one of the premier pass rushers in the National Football League. With that being said, gentlemen, we talked about Dalvin Cook signing with the Jets. Ralph, what was your thoughts on that signing? Does that make the Jets, a Super Bowl contender, in your opinion?
Well, it should, Peter. And I got to tell you this, guys. There's a top 5 out of ESPN coaches on the bubble. All right. And number 3 is Robert Saleh. Because if he doesn't do well this year, he needs to be fired. He has a good quarterback. And now with Dalvin Cook, they have a running game. And he brought in some talent and strengthened up the offensive line. If the Jets don't do well this year, you know what? Saleh should go. I mean, it's
Robert Saleh. All he has to do this year is sit back, turn the TV on, and just let the remote do its own work. Because I'll tell you what, that is a solid football team.
That is definitely a solid football team if, once again, they can live up to those expectations because the defense is definitely stout. You got lots of pass rushers, of course, the excitement and hype Can Sauce Gardner emulate what he did last year in his first year? Will he have that sophomore slump? We shall see. And then, of course, Aaron Rodgers being the big deal. I'm just wondering, gentlemen, do you think there's any distractions with Hard Knocks? Have you watched Hard Knocks, Ralph?
I have. The Steelers declined to do it. They've been fined for it a few years back. Steelers don't want to be involved in none of that. I think it's a distraction, and it could happen. It could be. But we're going to see how they handle it. So far, I talked to assistant head coach in Denver, Mike Westhoff. I had him on my podcast when I had my Sports Corner podcast. And he told me, and he's a former Jets special teams coach, one of the best in the business, by the way. And he said to me, Ralph, he says, I was at practice. This was last year. And he said, I was at training camp and I was at practices. And I got to tell you, Robert Saleh is the most organized coach I've ever seen. So there you go.
I have to go lick my wounds right now. I just watched the Cubs in the bottom of the ninth just hit a 3-run homer to win it.
Oh, no. Look at this.
I just have to go.
There's your Greek guy right there. Cubs win. Suck it, Harry.
What? Suck it what?
It's Roger saying the Cubs suck. There you go.
That's good. That's good. Anyway, keep your bets low and your returns high. I will see you guys soon. Ralph, I want to say hello.
Harry, I'll be in touch with you. I might like you to come on the 29th on my radio.
Whatever you need, buddy. I'm getting a lot of invites. You're going to have to get some reservations ahead of time because I'm doing some appearances with ESPN. I'm also doing some other things with different radio stations throughout the country. And yes, please make sure you do get in touch with me. I'll go ahead and take care of it. We love you guys. Keep your bets low and your returns high. My White Sox sucks, but so do the Cubs. They look like they won the World Series. I just got to go to bed. This is not a good day. It was have fun.
Harry, the Greek professional
and do me a favor.
Yes.
Would you please tell Mark I waited for him?
Well, we will. I know there's a caller here that would like to talk to you, maybe. How about Curtis from Newport Richie? Curtis,
goodbye.
Solution.
No, Harry, don't go nowhere.
There you go. You're wanted, Harry.
I'm calling just for you, Harry.
Oh, he's calling for you. Oh, here we go.
I want you guys' opinions too.
Mm-hmm.
Is Aaron Rodgers top 5 quarterback all time?
No.
No, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I mean, I know the stats suggest it, but the wins and NFC championship games, his playoff record overall.
Let's really think about it. You have Tom Brady. Let's talk about the players that. How about? Wait a minute.
Before you even go down the list, Harry, the reason I asked is because me and a buddy, we argued today, and he argued me that he would take Rodgers over everybody except for Brady. And I told him, I said, listen.
Over Marino. Over Montana. Over Young.
You can give me Peyton Manning and Drew Brees over Rodgers.
Oh, my God. I mean,
I would take Peyton Manning with his left arm.
Peyton Manning with his hurt neck when he comes back a year
after his
hurt neck, he's an MVP, right?
Absolutely. I hope that's all you needed, man. Because tell your friend that's a hope. You tell your friend he owes me more steaks because he kept me even longer. I ain't messing with that nonsense. Aaron Rodgers better than
hold
Peyton
on,
Manning.
Curtis. We got Mark Mancini here, former XW announcer. Harry the Greek was waiting for you. What's going on, man? Looks up for being late.
Why? Well, what happened is I had trying to get done with all these other shows, and I said I got to get the hell off these other shows because the Tampa show is the godfather of Wednesday with all these shows, my brother.
Yeah, I had to wait to see the hairdo. Okay, bro.
The hair. I'm trying to figure out why are the Bears and Colts on Saturday? Why are they giving us this game?
Why? Because they're going to give you the look of a quarterback that 2/3 of the team in the National Football League wish they had. Listen, man, again, for the 4th time, I'm going to sign off tonight. I'm going to try. I waited for the Mancini brothers to come on. Okay. And I finally got Mark to come on. Mark, we have to get you down here to Florida.
I have to get down there. I was hooping and hollering, and my other brother there, Ralph, we kind of wanted to see what happened in Tampa last week when the Steelers ramrodded the Bucs.
Oh, you know what?
It's only preseason, guys. Come on.
It's only preseason. All right.
Hey, look at the Penguins are loading up too, man. Eric Carlson.
That's right.
Watch out, baby.
Oh my
Full
God!
Hall
How
of
about the
Famers.
Chicago Blackhawks getting the next Patrick Kane in the draft? How much luck was
Listen, how
that?
about the Tampa Bay Lightning actually being a competitive
who?
team over? Yeah, the Tampa Bay Lightning.
You won't even hear their name.
Hey, I was going back and forth with fans out here. I said, you guys are the best ever regular season champs. We'll see what happens in October again.
Whoa. Didn't they win 2 straight Stanley Cups? Oh, that's right. They did.
The Dodgers.
Oh, the Dodgers. Yeah, well, Dodgers won a World Series.
Hey guys, I got to take my medication.
Oh, you need to.
Bed.
You're past your bedtime. There you go, old man. See you later. All right, Terry the Greek, love you, brother.
I was gonna tell him to take it with a gyro.
Oh, there you go.
Oh man.
Exactly. Oh no, I'm not gonna put you on. Curtis, go ahead.
Hey, I was gonna tell him he's taking his Rex Grossman vitamins.
Oh, this is our quarterback. Wah, 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 wah.
Hey, Cordell Stewart played for Chicago too.
He
Hey,
did.
that was a big
Not
loss.
very-
Gage on Tampa the other day, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not very well. All right, Greek, what do you have to say here?
Oh, he's back.
Rex Grossman? You didn't really go there, did you, bro?
Yes, he did.
Because Sexy Rexy's my man, okay, bro? Okay, Sexy Rex. You don't diss on Rex Grossman.
Rex is our quarterback, says Lovey Smith.
Listen,
Harry,
don't
Harry,
diss on Rex
Harry,
Grossman.
Harry, the last time the Bears were relevant was 1985.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike Ditka. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, well, actually, guys, 2006 came.
All right, Mark.
They were relevant, Mark. They were in the Super Bowl against the Colts.
Hey, Mark. Wait a minute. What, Mark?
It was Lovey versus Dungy. Yeah.
Mark, you can go full screen on me.
You got, hey, that gyro's cooking in the background with the medication.
Just wait. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
That's sweet.
Well, I don't have the beer faithful coming at me like I.
Wait a
had the
minute. What
Dodger
state do you
faithful.
live in?
California, where it's flipping
Oh.
into the Pacific.
Yeah, I can't wait. I hope it just breaks off and just keeps floating.
Hey, I'll tell you what though, Bennett looked good for LA. The Rams. Yeah.
This state, they're making deals with Australia now on climate
good.
weather.
Well, Stetson Bennett
Can't
looks
say climate change.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's not climate change.
political now, Harry.
What do they call it now? They don't call it UFOs anymore. What the hell do they call it now?
I don't know what they call it at this.
They said there's a tropical storm coming this weekend. I better hang on to a palm tree.
Florida? Or is that in California? Where is that at?
Yeah, I don't know. They said LA. You know,
It's climate change. It used to be global warming. That scared too many
that are
people.
weathermen here that make $800,000 a year to cover a puddle.
It was.
Hold on, Mark. I'm sending my peeps that are ahead of the cancel culture. They're coming after your ass.
There you go. All right, Terry the Greek.
Hey, Marianne loves you all.
Hold on, man. I love Marianne. Okay, Marianne is an absolutely wonderful lady. Let me tell you something.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
I just had her on my Ralph Williams 101 show about a month ago.
And I wasn't on.
Yeah.
If you want to be on,
I love to be on when Marianne's on. Marianne's awesome, dude. She really is.
Curtis, stand by.
I'd rather talk to Marianne before I talk
I'll
to
be in touch, Harry. You could be on my Ralph Williams 101 show and the radio show on August 29th.
Sounds great, man. Yes, sir.
Shut
up. Peter, you know it's nothing but love, brother. I'm your co-host. That's the way it's going to be. Gentlemen, I really wanted to come on and say hello to the Mancini brothers. You guys take it over from here. It's the best turnbuckle talk.
Oh,
in
yeah.
all of any bays, whether it's Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Hang on. That place out there in California.
Looks like Peter's been working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has.
I
His
can
lips,
see that.
his jaws are getting stronger. I'll talk to you later, guys.
Acknowledge us.
Here you go. Goodbye, Harry. See you later. Curtis. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll talk to you.
That is just terrible.
I'm telling you. What am I going to do with my co-host? What an idiot.
I'm just waiting on you guys to start turn.
Hey, I'm waiting.
All right.
I'm waiting for Finn Balor to turn here, man. I'm waiting for him to turn.
You call back, Curtis, and we'll get you on Turnbuckle Talk. Let me intro this show, all right? We'll get right back to you, all right? All right, my friend. All right, guys. Turnbuckle Talk here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web, a former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini, and, of course, bodyguard of the Berg, Ralph Williams, newest Pittsburgh radio personality out of Beaver County.
20,000 or 10,000 hits on Amped Up Sports.
Wow.
Nice, man. Congratulations. All
Thank
right.
you. I talked to Trace today. He told me 10,000 hits.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they're going to have a statue for Ralph out there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's amazing stuff. All right. So it looks like Lacey Evans has teased her exit from WWE. Her Instagram post on August 15th made it clear with a caption telling people to address her by her real name, Macy Australia, putting a vet with company trademark one back up for grabs. Now Dave Meltzer and Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp say they confirmed the 33-year-old's exit. The company now has her listed as a alumni section. With all that being said, big loss by WWE with Lacey Evans, Mark.
Oh, yeah. I like Lacey Evans. Well, it just goes to show you that they bring people in. It's a 15-minute car chase, and then they fall off a cliff. They don't market them no more. I've seen this with Lacey Evans. I've seen this with Braun Strowman. I've seen this with Keith Lee. The list goes on and on.
Whether a bunch of people, man.
Yeah, whether it's a woman wrestler or it's a man wrestler, it just seems like they fall off the cliff here. And part of the problem is, and we've definitely figured out the problem is Vince McMahon does not know how to book.
Well, he doesn't know how to book. And then on top of it here, Ralph, I mean, have so many changing of gimmicks. Now, she's a Marine. She's a Southern Belle. She's this. You can't really decide. And people figure that out with wrestling. Once you change their gimmicks enough and you change their characters enough, they don't know what to think of them. And, they were trying, a angle with Cardi B, popular rapper, signing off on that, sharing misinformation about vaccines and autism. I don't know. It's just a complete disaster at the end of it, and it goes back to booking, right, Ralph?
Absolutely, it does. And they booked some Elias, for example. They left him in the wind. Madcap Moss hasn't been on TV for a while. So there's a lot of guys that they're and ladies that they're getting ready to run out of the WWE that just weren't even used at all. And it's sad because they do this so much. The list is so long, guys. You can't even remember some of these guys at times because it's so long a list of people. I hear now Theory's getting ready to walk away.
Wow.
Or they're going to run him out next. So.
Well, I mean, he has not had a good run as a U.S. champion and has not been good at all.
Not at all.
With that being said, can she go to AEW, in your opinion, Mark, and turn it around here?
She's going to have to if she wants to continue. I mean, that's the only thing. At least they know how to market it a little bit better. Yeah. I think the only one that we've ever seen at WWE that's had 3 different aliases and made it, and each one of them was Mick Foley. Mick Foley had, 3 different things that they tried and they all worked. But I guess these guys don't let one thing work. If you're popular and you let it work, the sassy Southern Belle worked, but then they all of a sudden came out with this G.I. Joe thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't let anything work. I mean, and this is not
Slaughter's move, and not have Slaughter come out and approve of it. At least come out and be a manager or take advantage of it. That's the vehicle that you have to have right there.
Right. And not only that, guys, I mean, I know it's wrestling talk, but people tell me about the Jets and I say, hey, look, if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's a bust. No, when was the last time the Jets were relevant? So if the Jets get to the AFC Championship, and they haven't been there since Mark Sanchez back-to-back, if they get there and lose, and then the next year they get to the Super Bowl, well, they've made progress over regress.
Right.
But in the WWE, they don't even let these guys progress enough to run that character through the roof. They just shoot it down. I mean, the sassy Southern Belle, she had the accent and everything.
It was great.
Why would you change that up and come in with a G.I. Jane?
No, I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, she really is a Marine. I mean, she went through the Marine Corps and everything else. So I think they were trying to rebrand her, like that. as a Marine, well, she is, and or was at one point. I know she served in the Marine Corps. I don't know what positions or what she was doing or what her duties were or whatever. I mean, some people serve in the Army or the Navy or the Marines, and they wash dishes. I mean, who knows?
It's a good point. That's a good point. We're on Turnbuckle Talk here on the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the madman himself, former XPW announcer Mark Mancini, and the bodyguard of the bird, Ralph Williams. The way I see it, newest Pittsburgh personality radio. Yes, Beaver County Radio. All right. According to Bleacher Report, The Rock is not likely returning to WWE during actor strike.
He's not.
After went on strike, there was speculation it could open up a window in the schedule for The Rock to make an appearance on WWE television. However, fans who have been anticipating the Great One back in the ring will likely be upset. The Rock business partner and former WWE writer Brian Gerwitz had this to say, appearing on the Ringer's Cheap Heat podcast. It would be a bad look for a prominent actor to show up on an entertainment program during a strike while other people in the industry are not currently being paid. What do we think about this, gentlemen? Because this kind of hinders the possibility of not only him having a program with Grayson Waller on the Grayson Waller effect, but on top of that, possibly being involved with WrestleMania 40.
Well, I'll tell you this, if anybody doesn't know where this is headed, it's headed to Philadelphia next April, The Rock and Roman Reigns. And I'm telling you, I know there's an actor's strike. I know people are downplaying this and all that, but I'm telling you right now, I bet my last dollar on in Philadelphia, 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. It's going to be The Rock and Reigns. It should have been this year, but they pushed it. It's going to happen, and I'm not listening to anybody that's telling me it's not going to happen because this is getting built up. You can see where the bloodline and everything's headed. Rock has to come back and kind of reign some supremacy over this whole thing, and it's going to be in Philadelphia.
What do you say, Ralph?
Well, it could happen. They're also, I've heard rumors it's going to be Reigns and Cody Rhodes again.
Right. Well, it should be. That should be the story. That should be the story, gentlemen.
Yes, it should.
Versus Roman Reigns.
And that's where the story ends because then Cody Rhodes gets the title. That's where the story ends. So.
That's where it should end. All right. Last spring, WWE Hall of Famer Tammy Sonny Sitch became embroiled in the most serious and long list of alcohol-related legal issues. A car accident which resulted in the death of a 75-year grandfather of 3. Now she has been in prison since May of 2022. Her trial is scheduled on Monday, where Sitch could face a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison. What do we have to say about Tammy Sonny Sitch?
Well, I worked with her in XPW, and a great lady, and Candido was great too. And I mean, I guess what seems to get everybody is one of those things. And if you can, Derek Jeter once said he always travels the road where it's very unique.
Mm-hmm.
And I more or less look at things, drugs, alcohol, gambling, women, the whole 9 yards. But you got to discipline yourself first. I think discipline's got to be a word that's got to be used. And then surround yourself with people that are actually going to look out for your well-being. I've always said, you can run 100 people in any business, and 95 are going to have a me, myself, and I. Those other 5 are going to run through a wall for you. What I've learned in this business, in radio and everything, is I surround myself with good people, and that's the key in good with a capital G. So I think what happened with Tammy Sitch, and looking at her background and everything, was there was people that just came out of the woodwork that weren't looking for their best interest, just were looking for the greenbacks. And she never saw that coming. And when you never see that coming and you're not street smart to see that, then it becomes a downhill effect. We saw that with Michael Jackson and his doctor. I mean, nobody can stand up and say, hey, I don't care about the money as much as I care about your well-being. Relationships are priceless. Money comes and goes.
Well, you're exactly right. And it's sad because, of course, her and Chris Candido were together over there at ECW and I guess XPW. And then they divorced. And There was, I don't know if you saw the Dark Side of the Ring with Chris Candido. Did you get an opportunity to see that, Mark?
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see a lot of it, but yeah, I heard that was pretty
It
graphic.
was sad because you felt bad for Candido, because I really think Candido loves Sitch, but she got so wrapped up into drugs, so wrapped up into other wrestlers, Shawn Michaels, and then he finally got his life on track, and then he died of basically a heart attack because he wanted to fly on the plane to Impact. I mean, it was just it was disappointing.
Well, I think what ends up happening in any realm of life.
Yeah.
And Ralph has seen it. You've seen it. It takes a long time to get up a mountain. You don't want to roll off overnight. And sometimes the money changes these people. I've seen a lot of it. But if you stay true to yourself, that's the thing. Discipline yourself. Be true to yourself first. Then it's easier to contend with everything out there.
All right, Ralph, what do you think? Tammy Lynn Sitch, they're calling her Sunny Sitch, but we all know it's Tammy Lynn Sitch, Sunny, the first diva. What do you think about this whole situation? And by the way, to give you more on this, she was driving at a high rate of speed, rear-ended Julian L. Lassiter's car. It was sitting at a red light, killing him instantly. They also reported her blood alcohol level was greater than 0.08 at the time of the accident. According to Volusia County and TMZ, the 50-year-old recently changed her plea to no contest of felony DUI causing death, driving with a suspended license causing death, 2 charges of DUI with damage to property, and 4 counts of DUI with damage to a person. How sad is this situation?
Oh, it's really sad. And then, there's been some other sad stories. How about China? How about Sean Waltman? How about Jake Roberts? Elizabeth?
Right.
How about Lex Luger? I mean, it's been some sad situations with drugs and alcohol and in the wrestling business and in any business. And I mean, there are people even in the sports business where we all know, there's a lot of this stuff that goes on. It's hard to be an athlete. It's hard to be, in wrestling. You got to spend 350 days of your life on the road. And it's a tough situation away from your family. A lot of people don't make any friends. Some do make friends. It can be depressing. And they don't win matches, or they do win matches. They can't handle the stress. So they go to drugs, they go to alcohol, whatever, they do to make
painkillers. Yeah, it's painkillers. It comes down to a wrestler's body. But Tammy was
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle had a painkiller problem. I
mean, there's a lot of Shawn Michaels talks about having a painkiller problem and a drug problem that nearly ruined his career, and he had to find God and everything else. I think the most disappointing thing about Sunny was she was the first diva, right?
Right.
Even went to the WWE Hall of Fame, and you thought, you know what? She's going to have a ending. She's going to have a perfect ending to the story. She's going to be able to clean up. And once again, you mentioned it. China's a sad story because
China's a sad story.
She died of a drug overdose. You feel like that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah. Elizabeth OD'd on drugs that were given to her by Lex Luger.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sad situation.
And he ended up going to jail for that.
All right, let's talk about AEW and CM Punk. According to Fightful Select, I know you would like this, Ralph, and of course, Mark. Per the report, Punk took issue with the spot that Perry planned. This would be Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, former Jungle Boy. Now he's turned heel.
Jack Perry, yes.
Jack Perry. He's got the FTW championship. He's going to supposedly retire it next week to Taz's chagrin. Perry planned on performing during an early episode of Collision, which took place during AEW's tour of Canada. Apparently, Perry wanted to use real glass in a backstage segment, and Punk immediately pushed back against the idea. It was a safety hazard. The article also states that Tony Schiavone and others objected to Perry using the glass. The exchange led to an argument between Punk and Perry, with later reportedly upset about his plans being nixed. What do we say about this situation? Because I actually think Punk is in the right. He's being a veteran leader. You don't want to have that safety hazard. I get it. They want to push with Perry being a heel, but I think Punk did the right thing this time. What do you say, Mark?
I definitely agree with you because, when you start using this kind of stuff, the real stuff, and you slip or something goes haywire here, you can lose an eye, you can cut an artery vein. I mean, you're playing with dynamite on some of those things. I remember doing some of these matches where they did the hardcore, because let's face it, XPW on the West Coast, ECW was on the East Coast. It was hardcore. They had the thumbtacks. They had all that kind of stuff, the barbed wire, dangerous things. But when you're using real glass and that thing slips and you get there, there's no turning back. There's no, you're going off a cliff and you can get paralyzed or something. Like I said, you cut an artery, dangerous things. Perry's not playing with a full deck, that's for sure. I think God's got the other half.
Well, I tell you right now, of course, he lost his father, Luke, to an early death. So that definitely has to be weighing on his mind. He's a talented wrestler. But again, I feel like I have to laugh about this, because all you heard is ever since Punk has been in that locker room, the guys in that locker room who are not as experienced as CM Punk, I get it, he's a pain in the ass, but he's still a veteran. He's still been at the top of his game. A lot of people think he's the best there is. Really, I mean, not taking away from Bret Hart, but they think he's the best wrestler in the world, not only a wrestler, but also great on the mic. And yet none of these wrestlers that are in that locker room, that some of them are green as grass, are not taking his advice. Are you surprised by that, Ralph?
I am, because, see, here's the thing. CM Punk had egg on his face, because what he did was he got into that fight with the Elite, and then he was hurt, and then he was out for a while. And, a lot of these guys, they see somebody like that and are saying, wait a minute, this guy's going to be a leader, but he fights with people like the Elite and gets into a big scuffle. So, I mean, right now they're trying to form a peace meeting between the Elite and CM Punk, and the Elite don't want nothing to do with CM Punk. So, I mean, that's on him. I mean, but you know what, though? He has to work his way back into things, and he's doing it slowly. He's got the real AEW championship with him now. And, that's just a championship on Collision. So there you are.
All right. Now, Punk also had this to say, reportedly told Perry that Collision doesn't have segments of that ilk, and advised him to stay on AEW Dynamite. Now, this is not the first time Punk has kind of taken a shot at AEW Dynamite's locker room. In fact, CM Punk cut a shoot promo on Hangman Adam Page after AEW Collision, dissing the top stars, merchandise sales. He reportedly apologized to Hangman for the rant via text. He also played a hand in the removal of multiple AEW stars from Collision, including Ryan Nemeth, who, of course, is Dolph Ziggler's brother, Matt Hardy, and head of talent relations, Christopher Daniels. And a report from PW Torch suggests Hardy and Daniels' relationship with the Elite resulted in their banishment from AEW Collision. Ryan Nemeth was reportedly barred, stemming from a subtweet toward Punk in response to Punk's inflammatory comments toward Hangman Adam Page's in a polarizing ESPN interview. This led to a backstage confrontation between Punk and Nemeth. Hardy also revived a subtweet. Everybody needs to stay off freaking Twitter, because it's toxicity at its worst. Revived a subtweet of its own this past Sunday, marked by Hardy as relevant today. The 2019 tweet read, "I don't necessarily believe in the textbook concept of karma, but I do believe if you regularly make poor decisions and treat others unfairly and selfishly, those bad choices and cruel behavior will ultimately catch up with you." That's definitely a shot from Hardy Punk. And then also CM Punk reportedly clashed with Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
You know what? Yeah. You bring up some interesting stuff, Peter, but I will tell you, you brought up merchandise. When you look at all the merchandise the WWE has had, and we've watched wrestling for years.
Yep.
I will tell you, and if somebody tells me otherwise, they really haven't watched wrestling. The CM Punk merchandise in the day has got to be in the top 10 of all-time wrestling.
It is. It's number one. It's the reason why Tony Khan brings him back in the first place, because this guy's not selling squat and you're not getting the ratings on AEW. He's gone. He's just basically a pain in the ass.
Right.
That's the reason why Khan...
He would have been long, Peter. He would have been long gone after that fight with the Elite. Right. I think he would have been really gone.
Right.
So I mean, and Tony Khan let him stay out. He was out for a year. Like I said earlier, he has egg on his face. So I mean, but he's back.
They're probably going through the roof with his merchandise too. I remember the white one. I remember the yellow one.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I don't know what, but it was
Yeah,
an
the X
iconic,
with the white background.
yeah,
Everybody,
it was
that
an
one.
iconic slogan and a logo, and I mean, you can't top it. It's probably right up there. I don't even know. We should do a show on top 10 shirts.
Yeah.
There
New
you
Day,
go.
New
Yeah.
Day would have to be in there with Booty O's.
Well, and I'm telling you right now, AEW Collision is doing well also with the ratings because they're drawing right now. And
That's a great Saturday night show, Peter. We used to have Saturday night shows back in the day. Saturday night's main event, WCW on Saturday night. Oh my gosh.
605, and even going all the way back to Florida Championship Wrestling with Gordon.
Yes, Florida AEW. I mean, everybody was on Saturday.
What you know what I don't understand is why doesn't Vince tap into superstars of the wrestling on a Saturday and do something like that out of a house show?
Well, because I think they do house shows. They just don't.
They do. They do it out of house shows now.
They're so saturated with WWE Network. They feel like we don't have to compete with AEW. AEW has to compete with us, and it's good for wrestling fans to have more of the product, especially when it's good like it is.
Well, here's something for you, Peter. You know, Fox is angry right now with the WWE. They're talking about canceling the contract because WWE hasn't made the money that was promised. Okay, why don't you take superstars of wrestling on a Saturday and say, hey, Fox, I got something here for you. Even if it's on for an hour, at least it's on national TV and people can watch it because not everybody has cable. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, I mean, it would be beautiful if they did that, and the ratings would go up, and WWE wouldn't be in Fox's doghouse.
Exactly.
It's a good point. Save that point. Curtis, on Turnbuckle Talk, welcome back. You're on with yours truly, along with the Madman, Mark Mancini, and, of course, the bodyguard of the Bird, Ralph Williams. What's on your mind?
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, here's the thing. We know Monday Night Raw. We know SmackDown is the flagship shows.
Yeah.
Right. I think we should have more shows because they got too much talent. You don't get to see everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid, Sunday Night Heat on Sundays. I used to love
Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah, I remember that.
How about Shotgun Saturday Night, guys? Going on.
Yeah, there you go.
Saturday night.
I mean, that was fun. There was some fun stuff there, and they didn't always give it away, but you're exactly right. You had more of a choice. Now it's like Raw. You got to see these super.
How about Cyber Sunday or whatever they had before?
Cyber Tuesday.
The Cyber Tuesday, yeah.
How come you can't do Saturday night's main event?
Well, I mean,
from a house
well,
show
on Fox, yes.
It's NBC owned. Go ahead, Curtis.
I'm tired of watching the 3-hour dry ass show on Monday.
It's
I
not,
agree with you, Curtis. It's
Dude, I'd rather eat a dry chicken sandwich from anywhere.
Well, okay, now we gotta clarify this. A dry
man.
sandwich, that's not from Chick-fil-A, right? So you take Popeyes over Chick-fil-A or Chick-fil-A over Popeyes?
Listen, I love both of them.
I do too. Okay.
I'll take all. Let's say McDonald's sandwich. How about a McDonald's chicken sandwich?
Yeah, that's not great. That's kind of dry. I agree.
Well, the only thing they've done on Monday Night Raw, and I still can't stay up to watch that till 11. I can watch SmackDown, but the only thing they did is they finally took Kevin Patrick off that Monday night.
They did.
Yeah, but they have him on SmackDown, Mark.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought he was out of the company.
It's part of a 3 crew there because they have Michael Cole and, of course,
Michael Cole wants to retire and he can't now.
Well, they don't want him to retire.
Kevin Patrick is gonna go.
Oh, he's the worst.
Well, that's the reason.
Peter, you got to step into that seat, Ralph.
Yeah,
One of you guys got to step into that seat.
Curtis,
I can't get WW to return my phone calls anyway for guests or for media credentials. So what's the difference?
Sorry,
They'll get you.
Go ahead.
Know you.
No, honestly, I was going to say if they want to continue for 3 hours on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they should change it from 7 to 10 because 11 o'clock is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's 3 hours, right?
11:05.
It's. I remember it used to be overrun, but you go to first 9 to 11. I think that's better. The 8 to 11, it's a little bit longer show.
Even on Mondays, they used to go over about 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, that was the fun part about it. Yeah,
you used to love it. Like, oh God, but it's just listen. When it comes to Monday night,
it's stale.
I'm not watching. if I'm not watching Seth or Cody or Gunther, I don't even really want to watch it. I really don't.
It's kind of ridiculous, my friend. Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and the Judgment Day every week, taking
Oh,
slamming
my
people
God.
around all the time. You know, it's the same old stuff on Monday Night Raw, and it's you know, and then at the end they have a bunch of talking as the last part of the show. Come on.
I feel like Rhea Ripley is just holding on to that title too.
Oh, yes,
Well,
exactly.
she's the only one that can
Yes.
talk.
It's a good point. All right, what else, Curtis?
Just, well, what do you guys think about this whole Jey Uso thing?
I don't know what to think. I couldn't believe he actually walked out to the night. He quit, but it certainly seems like a storyline. They're building up to it. They're kind of cooling on this blood. I don't know what to think about it.
I saw a story where he's going to AEW.
Yeah, I think that's BS.
Well, the
And
other
Jimmy's going to Impact to be with his wife.
Yeah,
Trinity.
I can't.
I heard that story too.
The other thing is, what is Shinsuke Nakamura doing? If he doesn't remind me of Johnny Depp, if he's coming out drunk or he's just coming out flamboyant, I don't understand it. But what is Shinsuke going to do? He ain't taking no belt from Rollins.
I love it. I love Shinsuke being put in that situation because maybe you don't necessarily like his gimmick as a heel because it's kind of weird. But he's a talented wrestler, and that match between him and Seth is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's not going to pull a belt. That's the thing. I mean, it's just buying time.
You don't know that now. Curtis, go ahead.
And I agree with that. However, Shinsuke is more believable than Jinder Mahal beating Randy Orton for the heavyweight.
Thank you.
Oh,
there you go. I think
a Kabuki prison match or something
better.
like that.
Punjabi prison
Punjabi or whatever it is. Yeah.
I definitely think he's better than Jinder Mahal. Good stuff, Curtis.
They put the strap on Jinder Mahal.
Right.
They could put the strap on all four of us right now. We should form the Four Horsemen.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
we should.
I'm
part of the
I'm
part of the wheelchair group.
The straps ain't going around the Viking Raiders. That's for darn sure.
No, that's a Valhalla. All that.
by the way,
God.
by the way, guys, while I have everybody, breaking news tonight: the Steelers are going to retire Franco Harris's jersey.
Well, there you go. They should absolutely do that. Number 32 right there. Curtis, thanks a lot for your time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. All right?
Yep.
All right, good stuff there from Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to talk wrestling or you want to talk something else, but we prefer you talk wrestling, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The other number, in case you can't get through, 727-409-7528. Again, 727.
I wanted to touch on something real quick. I know it's not wrestling, but Tampa playing the Jets this week. I guess the joint practices like they're doing with Cleveland and Philly.
They've been killing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting when the game actually starts. They're going to be fighting. It's going to be like the Raider games.
Well, that was the other thing today. Not only did they dominate that offensive line of the Jets and get after Aaron Rodgers for 6 sacks after 10 snaps, but they also got into all kinds of fights, and that is to be expected because those teams are beating up on each other. And now, guys, they have an opportunity to beat up on somebody else. With that being said, let's go out to Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated. Punk discussed the reason he spray painted the X on the title. He first recalled the early days in wrestling career. Specifically, he recalled how a friend encouraged him to lean into his straight edge lifestyle for his character. I had not done the straight edge gimmick yet. I was racking my brain to try to come up with a great idea. And I remember my girlfriend at the time, Natalie Slater, who is still to this day a great friend of mine, pointing out the pot of gold was right under my nose. He was like, why don't you just be you? Why don't you just be straight edge? All credit to her. That's where it was born. Punk then emphasized that a lot of people in wrestling are in the business because of him. Likewise, plenty of people are straight edge because of him, and he wanted to recognize that. He also goes on to say, that's why I tape my wrist. That's why I X up my hands. That's where the straight edge means I'm better than you come from. Looking back at it now, there's a lot of people I currently work with who are not only wrestlers because of me, their words, they're straight edge because of me. It's time to get back to that. Look how powerful it is. That's a nice itch I get to scratch now. Let's go out to one of our callers here. Mr. Curtis calling back for our second time here on Turnbuckle Talk. What's on your mind?
No, I'm sorry. I heard you guys mention this, and I wanted to get y'all
Yes.
thoughts on top 5 wrestling shirts all time.
Okay. I think it has to begin. It's a start and begin with Austin 316. Okay. I think you have to.
Hey, wait a minute. Boots to asses by The Rock.
Well, you
Yeah.
can definitely do that. You could do NWO.
Yeah, the Undertaker.
I have that shirt. Bro.
Undertaker shirts.
Well, the NWO could be single-handedly the number one shirt of all time because
Yeah.
you didn't have an
Now,
NWO
wait a
shirt
minute.
back
What
then.
about what about
DX.
the NWO?
DX's shirts.
I'll tell you. And I came across this. I was at a venue years and years and years and years ago. I was with a buddy. We went to the old sports arena, and I said, I'm going to get a Mr. Perfect t-shirt here because I like Mr. Perfect. And I could never find that till this day. And, they would have the dark blue one, but the light blue was the original. And my buddy would say, well, we'll get it the next time when they come back next month. Well, that was 30-something years later. You're still trying to find that Mr. Perfect one.
Well,
I would have to put that was an iconic in the light blue with the white script, Mr. Perfect.
Well,
What
I mean,
about Hulkamania?
yeah, I mean, Hulkamania, absolutely. What
That
about
was another one with the
Hulk
rips in
Hogan.
the back. The rips in the back.
there? You go, Hulkamania right there. Undertaker's one.
Studios.
Triple
Studios.
H, King of Kings.
Yeah.
Yes.
For you. I got one for you.
That's
Okay.
another one.
Hot Rod.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Roddy Piper.
Back then,
Definitely.
and now with Ronda Rousey coming back out with it, yeah, absolutely. Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Great shirt. Great point.
Oh, man. Those
Yeah,
shirts.
that was another one. God, there was some other ones too. Well, Cody Rhodes has that one, the Nightmare one.
Yeah.
They
The
say
new-
LA
the new-
Knight's the number one seller right now.
Well, LA
They
Knight's
say LA
killing
Knight's
it.
stuff
He's
is
a
selling.
mega star. He's the guy.
Yes.
Next guy.
I did like the CM Punk Best in the World shirt.
Oh, there you go. Best in
Oh,
CM
yeah.
Punk.
Absolutely. Good stuff. All right, Curtis, what else? Anything else?
Oh man, I was just thinking about what you guys are talking about, man.
Man, that's what we do here on Turnbuckle Talk, man.
That's it.
Just those shirts, man. Just
Yeah.
those shirts.
Oh yeah, they went through and now you go to a venue, they're like $40-something bucks. But back then in the day, guys, it was just an easy script. Now it's all this other mumbo jumbo with it, and just ruins it. Just kind of a thing on it. I remember the Ambrose Asylum one. That was always a good one too. When Dean Ambrose,
The Shield.
Well,
hey, Nexus, if you ain't with us, you're against us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nexus.
but that didn't last long. They didn't do enough with that. That was a gimmick or storyline that they really dropped the ball, much like Invasion.
Yeah.
there's two that we forgot.
Okay, D-Generation X is one.
No, we said somebody said DX. I heard one of you guys say DX.
Okay.
Yeah, a DX, yes.
Can't forget John Cena.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't see me, and of course, The Rock making fun of him when he came back to wrestle him. Yes,
That guy sold a ton of shirts.
hustle, loyalty,
Oh,
and
yeah.
respect. Yes, absolutely.
And, Rey
He
Mysterio-
might have blew them all out of the thing. Of course, Austin 316 was like you said.
Yeah.
Peter.
Austin
that
316.
To me, that will always be the number one shirt.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But and then my kids, when they were young, it was the Rey Mysterio shirts. with the
Nice.
mask on it.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And those still can be sold today. That's awesome. Good stuff.
So,
All right, man.
all right, brother.
Good stuff.
All right,
Let me give you
guys.
the macho
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Appreciate
Macho.
you for this. All right, let's go out to Eric Bischoff. He hopes that WWE Hall of Famer Sting retires at AEW All In. He has this to say on the Strictly Business podcast. I want Steve Borden to experience the highlight of his career, having the opportunity at this stage of his life and career to go out in front of 80,000 people, to get that reaction, that love, that energy, that support has to be the highlight of his career, at least one in respect for me. That would be it. Why not go out on a high note? What do you got? And he goes, why do you want to go from wrestling in front of 5,000 people on Dynamite for TV? That's not the best way to go. Go out on a high note, cherish every fraction of second of that moment, and then wave goodbye and go out with a bigger smile on your face than you possibly can, and not wishing you have done something a little different. What do we think, gentlemen? Should Sting retire at AEW All Out there at Wembley?
Ralph?
I think he's going to retire on his own terms.
I think you're right.
Although his contract's up this year, so he's probably going to retire soon, either before the contract runs out or probably when it does run out. And he's controlling his own destiny right now. He's doing it the way he wants to. He's a part-time wrestler. And at 63 years old, I got to hand it to him, man. He's still in the game.
Hey,
So.
yeah, still great shape, still taking high spots. I mean, what do you think? Is it time for Sting to retire, in your opinion, Madman?
Well, I think if you're going to retire, I always said retire on top. If it's one of the, kind of like a Starrcade moment or a WWE moment, win the match and retire that way, then go in the Hall of Fame thing. Yeah, that would be the best way to do it. Rather, I've seen too many of these guys keep coming back, and it loses its luster. We've seen this in sports too, where we think a guy's retired, then he's unretired, then he goes. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And I'm not a big fan of the thing, guys, even retiring where a guy leaves a city, then comes back and wants to wear the jersey one time and retire that way. Retire in the city where you are, move on and close that chapter. Anything after that, it just, you kind of look at it differently, I guess. And that's in my one man's opinion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's go ahead and go out to Christopher Cole. Heck yeah, go Cubs go. Christopher again. Christopher Morel is going to be great. Congratulations. Ray should have traded for Clevenger from the White Sox. Pig Dog Video 2001. Peter, does Adam Cole Bebe do a heel turn at All In? That's the big surprise, right? No, it's actually not the big surprise because I think MJF is a heel. You keep him heel. In fact, the big surprise could be, according to Dave Meltzer on McGuire and Wrestling, Bill Goldberg could.
Yeah, Goldberg's supposed to come to AEW.
At All In, not out of the realm of possibility. Metzler says it's not on the realm of possibility of Bill Goldberg wrestling at All In, but I haven't heard that that's happening. I'll just say that. Bill Goldberg going
MJF, you're next.
See, I don't know if it's the right time. You're still building up to CM Punk.
Yeah.
I mean, Ralph, what do you would that
I agree with you on that, Peter, but I mean, having Bill Goldberg even come into AEW, I don't know. I mean, he was towards the end of his career in WWE was horrible.
He wasn't good. He was not good. He nearly killed Undertaker with the movie. They had a concussion. It was over at Saudi Arabia. It was just terrible. He's not the same.
He had that dart on his head on that one match, and it fell or bumped his head or something.
He knocked himself out with coming out and throwing himself. Basically, gave himself a concussion because he can't do it anymore. He nearly broke Undertaker's neck in that match. There should have had no business wrestling in that match in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, exactly.
And total disaster. When they put him over on The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, they ruined his character forever. They should have put him over Goldberg, and they didn't.
They did. And then when they had Goldberg have the Universal title, and I thought they were going to have it stretched out, and then he only had it, a couple of weeks?
A couple of weeks.
Lost to Brock Lesnar. I mean, I get it. He's going to sell a lot of shirts. He maybe get some ratings, but as far as long-term, putting him over on MJF or putting him out there, I don't know if I see it. What do you say, Madman?
Well, it's kind of the way Brock Lesnar's going. That's I kind of see Goldberg, and now I see Brock. What's next for Brock Lesnar? That's an interesting topic, guys.
Well,
the next match I hear he's supposed to fight Gunther.
Well,
when and where, I don't know.
I think he's going away for a couple months. You'll see him back for, of course, Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, as always. Great stuff, guys. Ralph, go ahead and promote yourself here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend.
Yeah, Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com, Facebook, X, and you can also get me on LinkedIn. And I have my own YouTube channel, Tuesday nights, 5 to 6 p.m. Ralph Williams and Smoking Jim Frazier, Beaver County Radio in Western Pennsylvania, the hottest sports program alive. September 5, we're 2 hours, 4 to 6, and we have a Steelers special, and I got a bunch of people coming on. I'm talking about reporters. I got Bubba Brewer coming on. I got a bunch of guys coming on to talk Steelers football, get you ready for the regular season. And that's 99.3 FM, 1230 AM, 1460 AM, and live on their Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Good stuff, Rob Williams, bodyguard of the Berg, newest Pittsburgh radio personality in Beaver County. Appreciate you, as always, my friend, here on the Sports Web. All right?
Have a great one, Peter. Talk to you next week.
All right, good stuff there. Let's come back here to the Madman Mancini Media, former XPW announcer. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution of Sports.
Well, I'll tell you, this great show on Wednesdays, I look forward to it. The Throwdown in Tampa with Harry, Ralph, you, all the great callers and everything. WWDB AM 860 out of Philadelphia with Marianne and Sal. Tomorrow, Scott Molesky, a guy that's interviewed quite a few guys, will be on that one.
Nice.
XM 203, Sirius 217, the Pirate Podcast, the Giant Podcast. Just blessed enough to do a lot of these. And man, oh man, next Monday I'm interviewing a sex therapist. So
Wow.
I'll let you know how that goes.
Oh,
Come Wednesday.
That should definitely be an interesting interview. Good
Yeah,
luck
yeah.
with that. Appreciate you, as always, Madman. Mark,
I love you, brother. I'm still working on those wrestlers for you, my friend.
sounds good, man. We need to definitely get him on. Appreciate you, Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. Mr. Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Chicago Sports, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, Night Sports Productions. Of course, the Madman, Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. And, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Ralph Williams. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Like I Love St. Pete, The Hub, Amped Up Sports, and, of course, Bucs Life. And get ready, Bucs fans. I'll be back here on Saturday night for your post-game edition. Bucs versus the Jets. We're only a couple days away. 3 things. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Have a great night. Are you an athlete or a professional struggling with life or career transition? Life isn't always easy, but hope is always present. Best Hope Counseling will help you move forward. For nearly a decade, licensed marriage and family therapist Larry Baumgartner has helped clients empower change and discover solutions using a solution-focused therapy approach. Conversations will focus on what you desire to change, not just the problems that brought you into counseling. From anger to depression or other emotions, Best Hope Counseling is there for you. Contact Larry personally on his direct line at 727-946-1346. Again, 727-946-1346 for a telehealth appointment in Florida and Minnesota, or in person an appointment in Minnesota. Take time out and begin your game plan to reconnect, rebuild, and restore happiness in your life. BestHopeCounseling.com.